What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Element 6 is back, the Quals are upon us, and we're going to try to bring you as much of that action as we can. I am the Reverend Whiskey Glitter, and with me, as always, my partner and co-host, Mr. Whiskey Run. What's happening, Whiskey?
That's right. Welcome, everyone. This is our 5th element in a row. All the way here into Element 6, we finally made it. It's time for Qual number 1 to open this thing up. And from the looks of it, it sounds like this is the only place you get to watch the Element Quals at here as we go through. And there are 97 teams that registered today. Huge qualifier. There was 128 max. Normally, you don't see the tournaments get anywhere close to that, but everybody wants a piece of the money available and the glory for T2 here in NA. We're happy to bring that to you. We'll be covering games all night long as far as we can go. The first one, though, YURRRRRR taking on Let It Happen.
That's right. Yours got a couple of familiar names on it. We're talking Skite, J Guns, and Lou as they're trying to get their T3, T2, and eventual T1 aspirations fulfilled. It's all got to start here in the Element Quals, taking on Let It Happen. Not a team we're super familiar with, but no less could be some absolute gunners. In a best of one, you don't have to be absolutely insane, right? I mean, if you have a better game just on one go, you're heading on, you're moving out. So we'll see how it goes.
The question you always ask is, where is the battle going to happen to set the stage, my friend? And it's going to be on, yep, you guessed it, Clubhouse.
Clubhouse, where good teams go to die. Reference point NAL today, right? We just watched an absolutely crazy upset where Standby is going to get some Chipotle for beating out Dark Zero, and could happen here as well. But Run, I mean, like, we're going to get right into it, right? Teams ready, lobby set. Is it time to just send it?
It is, my friend, time for Clubhouse, and here it is. Best of ones across the board. It is double elimination across the next 3 days. We are going to see all the action happening here, and we'll see. Maybe there might be some more streamers later in the weekend, but we're going to start off here with best of ones in the upper bracket. All the way through. And now the big change that happened with Element 6 was they changed the number of invited versus qualified teams, increasing the number of invited teams, meaning only 2 teams will qualify from this qualifier number 1. So all on the line, not nearly as many, half the number of spots that we expected coming into this qualifier originally. So all of those 97 teams, there are only 2 that will move forward into the next phase of competition.
Man, that is absolutely huge, which means you got to come out the gate swinging on this one. And teams are choosing to do it on Clubhouse, right? It's got some standards. We were just talking in the prod before how it's kind of seen a little bit of a switch up on Clubhouse, right? On which site is going to be primary, secondary, tertiary. It's interchangeable. We could go just about anywhere now. Now we're going to start on the defense. Let It Happen is going to take it to Jim Bedroom to start us off. They're going to bring a pretty classic lineup. This Cade and the Zombie were taken off the board, which means they're bringing along the Mira.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice, right? When you get down to it, are you going to ban those hard breach or the breach denial ops? In this case, yeah, leaving Mira on the board. And as we see Lou, J, Skite, Boots, some of the teams you talked about it that we know. On the other side, Let It Happen, Reaper, Rank, Jeter, Flavor, and Messi. Honestly, there's some good names on that team as well.
Yeah, they didn't do bad on it. And guys, if you guys want your game streamed, if you want to catch it on the Siege Double Shot for your Element 6 run, hit us up on Twitter. We'll be trying to catch as many as we can currently. So, okay, here we go. On the defense, Castle and Mira to lock it in. They said, hey, got to play Sentry, got to play Striker. The recruits are here. Intel deny. Not a bad setup to start us out. And honestly, I mean, over the last couple of games, Mira has just been banned like every single round, like replacing the Azami permaban for a little bit. So exciting to see what he played out here.
I mean, Azami's on the board too, the Azami is banned out too as the alternative. And look at this, Blackbeard has made his way in, was just waiting around the corner there, So close to the thermite charge as it went off, but do they know rank playing the mute up close to this wall? I don't think so, my friend.
Yeah, he's in a tucked position here, and a potential to get a multi-kill is prevalent, but they go ahead and self-flash as well as Dokumi's trying to find that first initial kill. The C4 rings out. Not going to claim anybody just yet, not even going to actually get any damage. So, man, they're just taking up an incredible amount of space right away. And now, caught on the run is going to be Castles. He is ripped off the board. Lou's able to find one, traded out immediately, as Jeter's able to take him down. Going for a C4 to try to stop the breach, but Blackbeard is there yet again. Finds another. Jeter able to answer back as Sky goes down, and quickly we have devolved into a 2v2 as Jeter's on a triple kill heater. Jeter goes down as Blackbeard also puts himself onto the triple kill. It's a 1v2 here with minute 17 left, and a lot of pressure now going on to Flavor as the plant starts to go down.
I know exactly which wall he's going to push up in. Goes for the C4, but as he pulls the trigger, Boots is going to take him down. Great round there for the attackers. I mean, in the best of one, right? Start off heavy, start off aggressive, and that's exactly what the attacking team did. YURRRRRR picks up one.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to do a bit of the run it back strat. Ego not going to keep the routine going, and you know what? They're going to bring just about every same operator outside of Smoke coming out for a little bit of a change here instead of the Bandit. So no breach denial, just going to lean into the eventuality that everything is going to get opened up. So go into denial mode. I like the adaptation. Is it enough to stop this really aggro YURRRRR?
I mean, the thing about the Let It Happen defense was they didn't really utilize the big extension they had over on the Cash CC side other than the mute that was playing in Con, right? They had the wall, but Thermite was able to open it up almost immediately. Blackbeard walked right into garage, walked right up into site, hopped in the window, and was about to breach the cash wall before Thermite was even there. So that was very aggressive, but the big thing was no resistance from the defense until the con side. That was really, to me, it felt like where that sort of fell apart. So if you're going to bunker back down, you got to be able to win all of those gunfights. I don't think Let It Happen pulled that off. So Rank is going to play that mute one more time, hold on to cash, this time backed up by the castle, maybe a little bit heavier, and then Flavor, you can see him playing over on the garage side. So they are expecting a little bit more of an aggressive push here from this team. Honestly, great adaptation from the defense.
Yeah, switch up the strat, right? And they go for the extension. Castle barricade's not going to be in the usual place. It means you're just not going to be able to take that space as quick. Honestly, I think I love it. I think it's a great switch up. Now, they did bring that two-pronged approach, the split push, if you will, as both Thermite and Ace have not been banned out. Opting for the Maverick and Ying instead. The Ying call, I love it, right? That new tech with having the shotgun and the Reaper has just been a blast. Look at that! Flavor able to find one as he peeks up from oil. They're going to take the spearhead right off the board. Point Man is gone.
Yeah, that time, again, well played from Let It Happen. They made it the perfect adaptation. Flavor downstairs, unidentified by the Your Attack team, and allowed to just take down the Blackbeard before he even became a factor. And look at this. He takes down Lou as well. Man, a double, almost a triple, but Sky rips him off.
Yep, Skype says good night and sends him back to the lobby. Now puts us into a 4-3 as they're opening up into Cash CCTV. Positions are known as the proxies ring out. J-Gun's able to find rank off the board, which does give us that numbers equalization. All the work that Flavor had done in the early round has now been negated as we find ourselves equalized on that body balance.
Still, though, he took down the Blackbeard, who picked up 3 last rounds, and Lou, so leaving J-Gun, Skite, and Boots, the 3 left alive. So they got a ton of breach opportunity here, so they can get all of the sight lines opened. Time is, though, slowing down into a 2v2 with this final minute.
All right, starting to make the final push in here. Scott on Twitch has made it into sight. There's a shotgun in hand. And Castle barricade that's prepped. Takes a quick swing, but unfortunate, not into the right place. Going for another shotgun. He is going to be able to find
what a miss!
Off the board, as now that body bounce does tip into the favor of the defense. Makes a quick swing in. Messi is going to get the confirmation, and Reaper able to take the final, which means the run it back strat, well run, it worked.
All right, defense much better prepared that time around. We said on the extension definitely worked. Flavor taking 2 big opening kills there, giving his team that boost that they need, and they were able to hold on. It looked like Yer might have had a good opportunity there to try and push in. They had everything they needed to be able to open up the sight lines, but they did not have Jim cleared. Allowed Smoke to just play in that spot, running the shoddy as well, and then having the logistics side not fully cleared either just sort of fell apart at the end. Those 3 guys seeming to not have a sort of a coherent strategy as they tried to close out the round. So it's early though in a best of 1. We're going into round 3. This time tied up as we see the basement as the next site.
Yeah, not a bad spot to go down to, as that cache CCTV has been called the Tersh, right? Been called solved. So take down to the basement and run. We're going to see the new operator on board. Denari bringing out those trip connectors. I love this. I wonder if we're going to see that Jesus, the stair strat that we've been seeing all over Twitter, right? Able to take some of those shields and break them, so you find yourself in a pretty terrible position as the point man is the entry of the team.
Just a quick note too, we still got drops on the channel. If you haven't had a chance to claim your drop, still available here on the Siege Double Shot. Thanks everyone for joining us there. So you can pick up that, I think it's a Mute Protocol gunskin is the current drop there for Ubisoft. So we appreciate everybody joining us for that. As we look through the Element 6 game here to start off, and look at this, Lou pushing up from this from the bedroom side. Does he know? Does he know that Reaper is holding that spot?
He does. Did you see the little nod of confirmation there? Now they've got the pin set up. There is nowhere to go. They've got it.
That is the greatest moment in my life, bro.
They've solidified onto the backside as well. So yeah, they've got him locked down. He is just gonna lose his life here, but he's got to find a kill to make this valuable. Pings go off. Yeah, the flashes go out. That's the pre-fire swing, and he's gonna get the down, but only just barely.
Wow, that was close.
Confirmation there. C4. What?
Strange, like legendary.
What a play! Hello. Gopher gets taken off the board, and that's going to be an equalizer.
Damn, man. Flavor made you eat your words. How did it taste?
Flavorful, spicy, like Frank's Red Hot sauce. I'm gonna put that shit on everything, man.
I love these Denari. I know we talked about whether or not Denari was going to use the trip connectors to sort of guard the stairs, but they've got the blue side locked down. I think this gives a great opportunity there for the defense to hold this spot. No one is going to be able to push through. And boy, we were talking in the prod chat as well about the distance that those trip connectors can hold. Look at that thing. It's like 20 meters long all the way across the basement.
Huge place to try to get down. Now opening up some vertical, try to put some pressure on some of these defenders. They do have the Mira still utilized here down in the basement. Dirt untouched, so a free entry in. So they can start to get some pressure from a bunch of different directions here. Oh, the self-flash.
There's a few different times we've seen that happen. Again, it seems like a bit of an accident there on the Yurr side. Maybe early on in the tournament, right? It's round 1 of potentially, I don't know, 6 rounds here as we go through the double elim in Element 6. But look at this. Oh, does Lou know? No, walked across the open door. The open space.
J-Gun's good on the double now as Sky's able to take Jeter off the board, and quickly we find ourselves in a 1v3 into a none v3. J-Gun's gonna bring out the pistol popping, body dropping, and they're gonna take the first on the basement.
God, nice shot there, holding on to the tight angle. So even though Lou lost his life walking into church, a teammate able to answer back in a big way to pick up the round win. So you're 2 on attack already. And if you talk about Clubhouse being the defensive sided map, I mean, hit the quota already. Just going to round 4 of the bans. Feels like Mira a great option there on the defense, on the attack. Maybe the Blackbeard.
Oh, the Dokkaebi. Just don't want to be sussed out. And you know what? It's a good call, because what happened on round number 2 when Let It Happen won their first round, it started off with a huge flank that took the Blackbeard off the board. So yeah, you want to get rid of that Dokkaebi, you want to deny access to the cams, and of course those phone calls about your extended car warranty. Take out the Dokkaebi. Mirror gonna fall as well. No surprise on that one.
Yeah, I think she was very influential there. From the your side, right? Run a aggressive attack. Want to make sure that they're not getting caught off guard by the roamers, and Let It Happen wanting to try to pull that off. So that one of the most successful doubles Flavor picked up on back on round 2. Yeah, trying to avoid that. So I like what Jeter's bringing out, running the Aruni. It's interesting that Flavor is continuing to run the Sentry. I know there's sometimes, some people thinking that the recruits are a good choice. But man, there's so many good defensive operators for sure. Want to see, he just feels good with the commando maybe, but not really bringing any of the extra intel that Mozzie would, running the same gun. You still get the C4, so really the big change is the extra impacts, and it just doesn't feel like that's enough utility to trade out for, say, a Mozzie.
I could feel you on that, although I'm a big recruit fan. Honestly, I just love being able to bring as much explosions as possible, create just all of that chaos. You can see they're going to start to get active here on blue. Unfortunately, drones are tough, man. Pesky little buggers get in, can't find them, can't shoot them. He eventually gets in. We're going to start to see them open up this vertical immediately. And the danger of bringing of jumping in immediately like that is there's plenty of C4s on the board.
Yeah, I was going to say, honestly, it felt like a little bit of a missed opportunity there from the Let It Happen side. Valk is running, playing in dirt, holding on to that C4, and fighting with the Blackbeard who was down at the end of the tunnel, right? Rather than being in a spot to be able to use the C4 to try and take down the Ram as she's opening up kitchen, opening off all of these sight lines, she was just in the wrong space, continuing to set up sight at this point. So that felt like a huge missed opportunity.
That was so close. Got on the drone as the hatches opened up and had a moment there. Was like, maybe I shouldn't stand here. And the pre-fire did ring out. So a great call as he backs off to get a drone inside. The Blackbeard's posturing inside of dirt here, ready to make the push on the 3, 2, 1, go. Oh!
What a...
Oh!
Who got him?
I'm not sure. I couldn't even tell you. He's down and unconfirmed just yet. Jay Guns is able to find one. And just like that, in the chaos that rings out, Grimbees are just going to flood sight. And now all of a sudden, there is just...
No way!
Going down. It's a post-plant scenario. Jay Gun's able to find 2. Sky gets taken off the board. Boots able to answer back. Now into a 3-2. A 3 working his rate. So now it's going to be up to Flavor. But Jay Guns popping off. Clubhouse. He claims it.
I think that was a big 4K there for Jay, and you said it, just chaos at the end of that round. We see the Blackbeard go for the tunnel entrance, just tossing utility in like crazy. He goes down, but then the trades just ring out across the board as the year execute happens, and honestly a little bit surprising. It seemed like a bit of a distraction, allowing them to get the diffuser down, and Let It Happen just falls apart off the back of a Jay quad piece.
Yeah, the problem is, and I'm not sure what the experience or camaraderie or general togetherness that Let It Happen has, as I'm unfamiliar with the team. But on the other side of it, Jay Guns, Sky, Letters, these are players that have been playing together for a really long time. And if you've ever watched the Rival Roller series or any of their streams going on, they've got great coordination. And on that last round run, it didn't look like coordination, it looked like choreography. They just pushed in, allowed Jay Guns to try and work around.
If you've watched the Roller series, whether it's with Skite on theirs or on the Siege Double Shot streams, that sometimes it can get dicey in those VCs as well. And we'll see whether or not, how long can they play together before things start to get crazy in that VC. So that's the big question. And Prod coming in also with a little bit of extra intel. Flavor was playing on Sentry, especially because he still had some of his skins on. and they couldn't wait to start the game. So Sentry is one of those only ops there he can play for sure that doesn't have any of the banned operator skins here. Because Element 6, one of the Ubisoft sponsored tournaments, so all of the rules on what skins you're allowed to run posted. So if you're playing, get them off. Go back to the defaults, my friends.
That's right. Don't get protested. I know you just got that new Dark Zero skin. It's awesome, but it could cost you around. So yeah, put himself onto the Sentry. Oh, Messi gonna find the first kill as Boots gets ripped off the board with some close quarter combat action. That's gonna put the body bounce into the hands of the defense, and that was a big pick. Taking one of the hard breaches down. Oh, Messi gonna go crazy and almost celebrate with an untimely C4, able to pull it back in instead. Huge play.
Blackbeard making his space over on the Logi side. The hatch is open, but they've got a little bit of room to move around. No hold here on the Logi side. That's a huge opportunity here for the attacking team. So you watch the C4 sort of come in unceremoniously as now they've got the pinch on the player in the bedroom.
Well coordinated. That was so good. J-Guns finds one. Sky's able to take the second, and just like that, we get ourselves equalized yet again. Can't quite get to the side of the BP to take it off the board, so give it a couple of taps. Flavor able to take Sky down, which means we're going to put ourselves into the 9-2 J-Guns scenario, where he's got to find a couple to help solidify this Blackbeard into sight, get themselves a plant going down. Now put himself into gold. 60 seconds left on the board. Just moving around. A few sound cues. That's going to be a C4 that was pre-plant potentially.
Yep.
Is going to get taken down. They still have one still to go, though.
So many explosives left on the board here for this defending team. Or they did until Messi goes down. Now it is just the two impacts of Flavor in a 2v2 scenario. And they're heavy on the stairs side of the map. Jay able to cycle back around, take down one.
Huge play now into a 1v1 as Flavor's able to bury it back. Blackbeard starting to get active as the diffuser is cold. And it's just a game of ring around the rosy now, and who's going to make the first mistake? He is going to grab that diffuser, push into the bathroom. Maybe a little bit of crazy action play now onto the rotate to gold, and it's just running. He's trying to nope the heck on out of there. He doesn't want to lose it for his team, of course. 8 seconds left. Plant starting to go down. He jumps back up. He's going to run again. Just no time.
No way.
On the board. Well played. Not even going to get close to peeking. He says, "Look, I don't want to take the shield battle. I don't even want that, man."
With the Blackbeard chasing you around the bedroom, he's able to, you said, nope his way out of there, just avoiding the conflict. A little bit of a pacifist play here from the Let It Happen side, and managed to net them another defensive win on their way back. So YURRRRRR's picked up 3. They're already on the top side of this map, looking to find another, and honestly had control of that round. But Let It Happen just played it a little bit better there at the end. So, yeah, Jay continuing to pad the kill count, having a hell of a game here to start off on round 1 of Element 6.
Okay.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
there we
bombs.
go. So, a little bit of a skin problem potentially on the Blackbeard. We'll let
Pro
that
League.
get active towards that. It's on the way to Pro League. Trying to still make it for that one, right? Defense going to switch it up, run by quite a bit. Ace centers on the board. Lucy, Fenrir, Vigil going down, which means they're going to really be trying to make sure that they stop some of that roam game early.
Yeah, I think this is a great call, and that was the big question, was Reaper going to try and hide here from the drones, and looks like he may have pulled it off, not using his ability there, so this could be a huge flank opportunity. We hadn't seen anybody use, like, the strip side spawn peek, you know, get a little bit extra crazy here on this one, so would have loved to have seen that possibly come out, but it's going to be Vigil holding down on the oil pit side, expecting a big push in on the warehouse side, and look at this combo of the thermite and the ace, and wow, did he lose that to the ace charge going off and destroying the exo?
Yeah, it doesn't look like they had anything particularly to stop it. And no, maybe an impact rings out from Malusi that was close to stop the thermite after that first Selma charge goes off. That's a pretty accepted strat, right? Double up on the hard breach. Make sure that you get it open because you can't trick them both. To be brought here, and there it is. Boots
wow.
and Messy. That's going to be a huge one, as that same play that they found success on for Jim Bedroom against them gets utilized. Reaper's able to answer back, though, as they do find themselves in a 4-2 plant starting to go down again. C4 rings out. It's going to connect.
No way!
Play. Lou and J-Guns get taken off the board. Sky's able to answer back. Now it's going to be Reaper, the last alive, alone on an island, and no impacts to make the rotate. So he's going to have to take the scenic view, the scenic route. I'm not sure if they even know where he's going to be coming from. Cut drones might have spotted the rotate, but here it is. Monty is going to be left alive and deny him entry. Sky's going to take Reaper, and this is going to be a huge start to the first half of this first match.
Good coordinated play there from the attacking team, using the Monty to block it. And honestly, Flavor picking up a double with that C4 on the default. That was the attacking team just being very aggressive, going for the plant before they really had all of the control that they needed, making sure the first floor, the lounge area, cleared out. So well played by the defense, but ultimately roller coaster ride there on round 6. You're able to come up with that win after a great hold. But I loved that combination of Vigil playing downstairs. The unfortunate part was Yer had enough players that they could send Boots down to go try and flush him out. And even though he lost that battle, he pushed Vigil into a position where he was going to be way off site and then have to fight his way back in on a Monty to try and gain some more control. So good play there by Let It Happen, but Yer was just better at the end.
Okay, as the bands ring out, they're going to lean into that hard breach as they're going to take Habana and Thermite off the board. And while I do like the Thermite ban, I'm just not sure that I'm fully convinced that the Habana ban is winning the ban battle, right? In the age of can openers and stuff, hatches are really just a ton easier. I get that you want to have that far away approach to it where
Defenders,
you don't have to
protect your
put
bombs
yourself
from
in
being
danger,
defused
and that
by
is a good
attackers.
idea. But to waste it on a ban early on, man, there's a couple of other operators that might have done a little bit better. Specifically, the Selma, right? The Selma charges of Ace. That gun that he brings to the table is an absolute fryer, and Jeter's going to use it here. We'll see if it makes a difference.
Yeah, definitely a lot of debate amongst the Siege community about that, right? Hibana for Clubhouse is one of those spots where I think she's a little bit better for the hatches than, say, on Bank, because you need to have some of that space in the kitchen. You need to be able to open up that hatch in a little bit extra safety. But you said it, when you have the can opener ops, they bring along so much extra utility, whether or not it's going to be the Grim or the Capital. They've got the Grim on board this time, bringing the can openers to back up Jeter with that hard breach. So it's honestly a debate, and it's a good one because they both have some big pros and cons, and ultimately it comes down to which one do you think you're able to easier defend. And this feels like maybe on the Yer side they're gonna go for some of those more the explosive tactic. But man, we talked about the strip side spawn peak, and there finally Yer on this defense gonna bring it out to start.
Yeah, absolutely. J Guns is reduced down to that half HP scenario, but no worse after that exchange. He's still alive. It's a one-shot headshot game, so potential to bring it. Clash on the board, though. Honestly, one of my favorite parts. I love the Clash play recently. Just so good at... Oh man, gonna find that first kill, and a little bit of trouble runs out into the all chat. Is there might be getting a little bit of a mental shock here going on the side of Let It Happen, but you just gotta get active, stay focused, friends. You know, you don't have to be out of this one early.
Honestly, I was expecting the mental chalk to happen on the Yer side quicker than Let It Happen, so that's a little bit of a surprise there. But Messi absolutely destroyed, just unaware, unfortunately, downstairs over on from the pool window. So Yer just playing a little bit better. They have got a ton of comp experience, and everyone has seen it as a part of those Rollers series in person. But let it happen. I mean, they're still sitting at 2-4 on attack. They can pull something out here. We're seeing the Blackbeard come out in a shield-on-shield battle, but he pushes in solo and just loses that battle.
Yep, Sky's able to take Reaper down, and that's a huge second pick. Unfortunate for the attacking team is now you put yourself in a tough position, right? They start to make the jump in, and they're going to find one kill back as Lou gets taken off the board. But now it's into a 4v2. They're trying to put some pressure onto Red. The problem still being that, of course, Clash is still alive, so that they are going to answer back. Flavor just having a great game. He's able to take Boots off the board and takes a couple of shots towards that main breach area, but he's backed up by the Clash now. So even though the Grim Bees are going off, even though your location is revealed, you've got power behind that portable shield. 3v2 now, 3v1 as Sky's able to take the hero the last couple of rounds for Let It Happen off the board. Make a push up Red, but J Guns, I mean, man, I love J Guns, right? He's super fun to watch. He can be one of two directions, right? If he's on, he's really on. If he's not, he's really, really not. This happens to be a game that he is absolutely locked in. I don't know if it's mental chalk run, right? It's just passion. Sky Letters and J Guns, they got passion, baby.
Yeah, they sure as hell do. And somebody said it in chat. It's interesting, right? These are normally guys playing roller competitive, and I know a lot of the teams, a lot of the guys switching over as the roller scene going through a lot of changes right now. So playing PC comp, and yeah, if anyone's just joining us, this is Element 6. The T2 tournament here in North America, open qualifiers. 2 teams out of the 97 that were registered for free to play the tournament this weekend are going to qualify for Phase 2, the Swiss Series. And Element 6 running very similar, almost identically to Element 5. So they've got all of the information online, all of the information on Challenger mode. Definitely go check it out. There is another open qualifier. Any 5-stack can join for free. Get your team together and compete for the big money.
Hey, yo, just want to say a special shout out and welcome into the Mint stream. Happy to have you guys along for the journey. Oh man, this has been an absolute show, and I just want to point out, Karma in the chat, J Guns is either stomping or cheeksy. Might be one of the funniest things that has been said already today. And it's true, right? He can be very wild in the way that he is either on point or far from it. Currently 12-4, and we're calling him stomping at this moment.
Yeah, 12-4, just absolutely going crazy. And you know, this really hasn't been a game of individual heroics, but certainly that is helping. Rank on the other side struggling. Reaper's had some good plays, but sitting at 3-6. Jeter also struggling there on the Blackbeard. So they've made some plays, but just really have been sort of outclassed at this point. But let it happen. We said it earlier. Don't let the mental go to waste here at this time. It's too early. Yeah, it's a best of one. You got plenty of opportunity. So I love the fact that they're using the C4s downstairs to look and try and guard that the kitchen push in. So this is sort of stalled out a bit at this point, stalling this let it happen attack. It does not feel very coordinated right now.
It's true, and Ying's not on tech right now. Like I'm a little disappointed, right? Everybody loves the Ying gun for sure, but the shotgun Reaper combo has just been especially devastating, and so yeah, tough to see it not being brought along by Let It Happen. Are gonna see some damage taken onto Jeter early on into the round as he's reduced to a pretty low HP, and there it is. They're gonna start getting set up for
trying to bait it out.
Hatch up. Yeah, he just gets out. He noped right tag on and out there, and that is a good call. Now with 1:10 left on the board, time is running low. Pressure is starting to turn men into machines, and we'll see who's going to come out better on this one. Reaper almost taken off the board, but lives to see the last 60 seconds play out.
You can play less, my baby. Reloading.
Honestly, almost nearly perfectly played there in the kitchen. That C4 came out and reduced Reaper to almost nothing. So now he is a bullet away from losing his life. So didn't get the kill, but man, what a play.
Man, they've got their gadgets set up in a tough spot, right? You can't get to the Fenrir gadgets. Oh no, a C4.
Oh, wow!
Gonna take 2 as Yours looking to put themselves on a match point scenario. Caught slipping, put sleeping, and that's gonna put us into a 5-3 scenario with just 16 left on the board as it absolutely starts to fall apart for the attackers right now. Man, this is a tough one. Messi's able to take Lou off the board. Sky's gonna take one on maybe an environmental ingredient, I think that was. 1 second left. They make the push in. Flavor's able to find Gopher, but just a too little, too late scenario as YURRRRRR about to find themselves on a match point scenario.
Damn, 6-2. And I know we've got the players on the YURRRRR side well known in the scene, and we let it happen. Wanted to see these guys put up just a little bit more of a fight, but Clubhouse is just this map that everybody plays, everybody knows. I did like to see Let It Happen banning Skyscraper first off the list, so honestly, I was a big Let It Happen fan right from the beginning, but they are 1 round away, my friend, from being eliminated, or not eliminated, it's a double elim, from being sent to the lower bracket. Let's clarify, since we are in the upper bracket, round 1.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they
Yeah, a
can.
lot of games going to potentially be played out here today, Run. Let's see how many we can get to. Jim Bedroom here for this potential last round of the first match of Element 6 Quals. Starting with an absolute banger, my friend. So defense, they're not going to lean into that breach denial. In fact, they're not going to bring no mute, no bandit, no Cade. They're going to straight run into that TDM meta, and they're going to also couple that with the pace setting operators of Castle and Azami and Fenrir, right? So lean into TDM while slowing it down. This feels like a huge win to me.
Yeah, I think it perfectly matches the playstyle that we've seen from YURRRRR, but look at this. Jay going to ride out this 12, 4, and 3 and go for the spawn peak, standing right in the middle of that door, but nobody spawning over on the con side of the map here. Interesting strategy there, and Let It Happen, sort of, I don't know, almost catching them off guard at this point, but they're trying to make the warehouse push to start with, and nobody from the YURRRRR defense really set up to hold that piece of it. So gonna live a few extra seconds here. Jay's made his way back into the central stairs side to head up, and look at this, that first engagement happening. Boots, they both know. Boots and Flavor about to go down in the lounge.
That's about to go down in the lounge. This sounds like a boxing match coming up. Looking towards Catwalk, takes a couple of shots, not going to find it just yet. In fact, Boots good for 2 as Jitter gets ripped off the board as well. Man advantage back into the hands of YURRRRR as they find themselves on a 4-2 scenario as Lou's able to take Messi down as well. Active onto the breach, looking towards the roof, takes a couple of shots, not able to find it just yet. Boots good for a 3rd. Now as it just finds Rank, the last alive, the only person to be able to stop this match point game right now. Avoid the 7-2, but he's got to get active, and he's not going to do it from the roof. In fact, break out the barbecue sauce for that 4-piece. Boots went crazy on match point.
All right, a couple of those 4-piece kills coming out there in this one, but great job by the YURRRRR team. They pick up round 1 of Element 6. Hell of a game to start it off, and yeah, Boots MVP. Well played, my friends, well played. Now, as we take a look at where we're going to go for the rest of the tourney, still got to figure out which teams are next. We're likely going to continue through and stick with this YURRRRR team as they play the next round. I know there was some requests in the chat for that, and honestly, we're looking for, if you want to see your team get casted, just let us know. Hey, we're open for any of those games.
Yeah, that's right. We want to cast everybody, and there's some fun teams in here. We've got Reno, F5 is going down, Akron, Cincinnati. You know, if you want to watch the aim key match of Akron, I mean, there's just so many fun teams that are playing here in the quals. So if you want to cast it, let us know in the chat. Let us know on Twitter, and we'll try to see if we can't make that happen. This one, this best of 1, it's over and done. YURRRRR's moving on.
That's right, my friend. So we'll take a quick break, work on getting it set back up. Who's the next team we're going to stick with? We will come back and let you all know.
That's right. Sit back, relax. When we come back, it's another map. Ayo.
Let's go.
Bites the dust for it.
What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. It's match number 2 about to get underway, and we're going through these ones quick, right? This is kind of like the not really the usual scenario for league tournaments. Everybody's readied up. Everybody's getting in the lobby. Let's just get the map known and get into it, Run.
That's right. One of the things I love about double elimination qualifiers is generally the bracket runs significantly faster than Swiss style. So big W there from the Element side. And you said it. Let's get into the map. But Glisten Esports versus your GSN. I mean, the call came out in the chat. Want to see this match going. So we're going to stick here with Skite, Lou, and J Guns as we go to, you're never going to guess it, my friend, Clubhouse.
Wait, what? Clubhouse? Man, shocker. Back to the textbook map, and we'll probably see this quite a few times early on here in the quals, as you know, teams aren't really wanting to give away some of those deeper map pool strats that they're bringing to the table, saving Night Haven, saving Lair, saving Bank, you know, to a little bit deeper on when you got to pull out some of those unexpected plays or some of those unexpected picks. So I like it. Back to Clubhouse. Hopefully we don't see it 3 in a row, but 2 in a row is fine.
Yeah, I mean, and Yur has been consistent here with the Chalet border bans to start off on both of their maps so far, and also banning Skyscraper, W here. But interestingly, you know, if this was on the roller tournaments, we saw an awful lot of Oregon because they definitely defaulted back to the standard maps that get played over and over again because you just get to be so good holding those angles. So we'll see whether or not that's going to play out this time, as GSN is the new challenger coming in, and they've got some fans in the chat, so glad that they're here with us. I know we were taking a look watching that the NAL game going on. It's unfortunate Element had to overlap Super Week in the NAL, but we're going to keep you updated throughout the game as we watch Envy. Big fans of Envy and JJ here at the Siege Double Shot, and we were talking about it, the custom emote in chat here.
That's right, that JJ emote from his Rise Up Through Challenger series. And you know what? Oxygen has a chance to do something pretty funny here, right? Even if, like, if you had to choose between taking on JJ and Envy or Dark Zero stack as Oxygen, you know, they're not going to lose their playoff spot if they lose this one, right? So the potential for Oxygen to do something very funny is on the line. And just to keep you updated, Envy has taken round number 1.
Oxygen has the chance to do something funny, man. Wow. The question is, though, the problem is, you know, I don't know that they want to lose to JJ and Co, but and I don't know that they can beat this team. When they are on, they are on. And that's kind of how we were talking about this Your team going into the game. The previous round, we started off the Element qualifier run with these guys, and when they are on, they're on. And last round, it was J Guns who went crazy. So GSN, what are you bringing to the table? Going to go ahead and, interestingly, Shield, they may have been watching that previous game, but they go with the Blitz rather than the Blackbeard band to start off with. And not surprising to see Cade. He seems like he is basically 100% of the time here on Clubhouse.
Yeah, yep. And seeing them ban out, seeing them ban out Chalet feels very on point, right? Watching the Rival Roller Series is just not a map that they do well on. They're not that whole, you know, interchangeable Jinxie stack in the Jinxie verse stack just doesn't do very well on Chalet. So get it out of there. They banned it twice. And you know what? GSN, they're looking to make a statement run. They're getting into this one active early, and primary site is going to be bar stage. This is a hero or zero moment for GSN. If they win this site, I'm going to be absolutely shocked. I'm going to be absolutely shook, and I want it almost.
What are they thinking? Bar stage? No, they have not listened to the Siege Double Shot ever, my friend. Statistically, this is a terrible defensive site against a team that plays very aggressive and is good at the vertical. Yeah, this one I think they're going to get shut down on quicker than normal, unfortunately. But it is round 1. It's a best of 1. Anyone can win a best of 1. One of the reasons why we love it. But man, taking a chance feels like a the wrong move to make here to start off with this game. But hey, you know what? You said it. Give him some credit for being a little inventive. But being inventive doesn't win freaking rounds.
It might. Imagine the drama, right? If they are able to take bar stage on a round one, imagine the potential mental shock that can come out from that. If you are able to take Skype, Jay, and Lou on a bar stage hold. So I mean, it's bold and it's round one. I'm actually here for it. I think this is the best time to bring out a map like this, especially if you're well versed on it. They bring along the Castle and Maestro and Mute to really slow things down. Jeff gets taken off the board early as the Fenrir is done and dusted, so his gadgets will remain. But it was a completely spread out hold here, right? They're up into construction, or up into gym bedroom, they're up into cache CCTV, they were holding on to the catwalk, put the pressure onto that first player, and they do get rewarded for it. Man, that's going to be a first kill. Jay's going to be off the board, the hero of the last match, done and dusted and toasted. Now looking to find another one here as Monty kind of gets isolated up.
Yeah, they've got to work on the vertical. That's the important part here for the attack. Obviously, holding on to the vertical part is the key to winning this site, and it's one of the reasons why it's such a bad site in general for the defenses. It's got a lot of vertical opportunities. So, and Skype picking up 1 and 2, the first opening picks for his team. Jay Guns has gone down, but man, the hits keep coming here for the GSN team as now they lose Ghost as well. So in a 2v4 with 1:10, and then losing some health and losing their life, Crazy Cactus goes down.
Well, to the surprise of no one, bar stage does not get it done. I like the idea, I like the attempt, I like the gumption run of bringing along the bar stage as an opener, and if they would have won it, they would have been heroes. They did not, so they're going to take it up to gym bedroom for the next.
Yeah, this certainly is a better shot there. So, yeah, Skype opening up with a 3K to start. They had a couple good opportunities, but I think playing the Brava, I mean, not only was he picking up a 3K, but his use of the utility as well was fantastic. They take advantage of the Maestro, lose those pieces of utility that they could have, that the GSN team could have used against the attackers, but really they didn't even get a chance to have that happen. All of the action happening with the Monty up on top of the rafters just sort of shut all of that down. So it's interesting that basically every team goes and opens up that environmental ingredient right next to the jacuzzi breach rather than trying to use that as sort of a pinch point. But I was wondering whether or not we would see teams try and take advantage of that maybe a little bit more often on the defensive side rather than clearing those out so frequently.
So we didn't really talk about the bans as they came through. For Europe, it was much the same. Cade and Azami taken off the board, but GSN looking towards that watch some of that play and take both of the shields off the board, and I think this was a good call, right? Yur is very aggressive, especially off the back of some shield play, so getting the two main ones done and dusted early feels like a good call. Melusi gets a little bit of damage as she goes for the wall bang here, and then now is going to have to open up nothing as Sledge just makes their way in. Boots able to take Melusi off the board. Jeff answers back on Jay Guns as he's now 0-2 on Clubhouse. But that takes us to an equalized body bounce run.
Loading back.
Yeah, that felt like a big miss there on the splash side to unfortunately lose the Melusi. He had the shotgun out and was ready to drop the hatch and was just a second too late. And look at this. I mean, kid on the Mira jumps out, takes a couple shots on the highway windows, but they are sort of backed into a corner at this point. The attackers have fully claimed over on the Cache CC side. They're about to make the push into the construction side. No opening the con single, so they have got a lot of these opening pieces in place. And the Habana taking down the Mira, and then damn, they're just on fire right now.
Yeah, no kidding. Sky absolutely deletes, and Boots is going to find another one, a triple kill for the round here as they try to get active. Sky's going to be good for a double, and man, they looked good. It started out with a good play here for GSN on Jim Bedroom, but just couldn't follow through, just couldn't capitalize just yet. So attack takes 2, and now that's you're done for the quota, right? They hit their attacking quota, which means we need GSN to basically bring that next 4 around. Wouldn't be surprised at a 3-3 if we can start to see some momentum built up on GSN. Could be a good play. I don't know if I see it going 4 in a row. They'll have to build up some real momentum here. And as Yer has already solidified 2 of them, I don't know, feeling pretty good for the year team.
Attackers need to
Your squad.
locate and defuse bombs.
I like 2 of the picks here that the GSN guys pick out, right? Or really 3 of them, we'll call it. The combination of the Malusi again, and if Splash can hold on to his life just a little bit longer, using those traps to try to slow down the shield push and try to slow down a very aggressive attacking team. I like that. And then the Clash coming out. I think that is also a great call. Fight the shield with the shield. The Clash is so good. She was banned, just an incredible amount to start off on Year 10 Season 3 after the rework, and continues to be a really important part of the defense. Still teams banning her, but I think both of those great plays. And then the mute is interesting. I wondered whether or not, we're not really feeling like YURRRRRR is an intel-focused team. So you sort of have the option there to stop some of that, but they're not really focused on a ton of the intel side of the game, except for the Brava and the Twitch clearing out the defensive utility. So I like the fact that they're using both of those and trying to protect the defenders. So keep those guys alive, though, and Clash here I think is going to be the big focus.
Quick update. MV Oxygen. MV sits up 3-0. Currently.
That they can just say they lost it on purpose to take Dark Zero out of the competition, but right now it's looking like Envy is one of the main teams to beat, and I don't know that that's any better than Oxygen at this point, but wow! Sheesh. Ghost, let's freaking go! Taking down Boots on the run out, meet aggression with aggression. Well played on his part.
Yeah, 100% the play that they needed there, Run, right? Got to fight fire with fire. Get aggressive. And you take 5 and 1 Boots off the board. That feels like a W play. In fact, he's one of the only 2 members on Team YURRRRR with any kills. The other one alive, 5-0. Sky is going to try to get active on the Clash.
The thing about it is, that was calculated, right? Intel there, he jumps out knowing exactly where he needs to go, get the kill back in. So that is just strategic play on their part. But look at this, Clash, don't get crazy by walking that far out into the map. Certainly he could have been taken advantage of, because this the Year team does a very good job of holding the cross angle. So keep the Clash alive. We said one of the keys to this map. But, man, Jeff has just jumped back up as well. 3-2 now.
Huge bit of plays here. 4-2. Jay Gun's going to get his first kill on the board. Now a tough situation, but they've made their way close to site. Legion Goo goes off. That reveals a location. Going to take a look towards that Logi area. A couple of stair pressure. They do have the diffuser, so the potential to go for a plant is here. Jay Good's now on to the second kill as they get a little bit closer to equalizing on the man count. They pushed in, and that's going to be Clash trying to stop the plant as the flashes, or as the smokes go down, but he's just going to be allowed to get it. Now into a 3v2. This feels like a dangerous situation. Jay Good's good for a triple kill now as Skype goes down. In fact, it's going to be all up to Jay, and he's going to have to be on pace for the ace. Finds the quad. Run as Jay Gun's going to bring about the ace for his first kills in match number 2. 26. It's a pistol that's ringing out. Starting to go for the defuse. Man, Legion Goo goes off, so now location is revealed, but he doesn't stick it. It's a low health scenario for Jay. Starting to make the push again, or starting to make the defuse again. Looking for it. Lord,
he gets it!
He's gonna ace it. All 5 of them locked and loaded, and you're just gonna take a 3-0 start on Clubhouse.
Boy, it honestly feels like karma caster cursed that one into existence. Whatever the good version of a caster curse is, saying, boy, poor Jay can't get it going. After that previous map where Jay went 12-5-4, it started off very slowly, but answers back in a big way with an ace against a GSM team. And honestly, that was a round that they should have won. They played the clash. We said that was the key to the round. Did a great job of slowing this team down in the beginning and really the mid-round at that point. But it was just YURRRRRR's closing power combined with Jay having I don't want to say a generational run, but what a hell of a round.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Jay is having a generational run, right? He was the frag leader of the last map, and even though he wasn't the MVP as it got taken by Boots there at the end, I mean, he still out-fragged everybody. He's playing to win it right now, and with an ace on the board, momentum shifts heavy into his favor, takes another round, steals it away from GSN. It's going to be Jay Guns with it to lose here, which is a funny phrase to say.
All right, what's GSN need to do? Well, interestingly, okay, this time not running the Clash again. Feels like a bit of a mistake, but I like the fact that they're running the Bandit to try and maybe keep that wall closed just a little bit longer. But lots of alternatives there on the attacking side to try and open that piece of it up. And Kid continuing to run the Mira, definitely a bit of a comfort pick. And the fact that she's not banned out, I think, makes that a great choice as well. I almost want to see them use the Mira to Mira trick that main breach, because that's one of the things that slows down the attacking team just a little bit and would make it very difficult for the Mav to get active here. He has got the opportunity here just to open this thing all up with really nothing to hold him back.
Okay, takes a couple of shots. Boots is going to be the first casualty of war. Lou also down in the HP count. The defense is going to claim that body balance, and on the Tersh site, looking at their best chance to get their first round onto the board. A little bit of smoke going to allow them to get active onto the drone. Oh, hello? Skite going to get a wall bang onto Ghost. Huge play as they equalize here, run.
Yeah, this is a lot of information blocking here and just sort of isolating Splash, but right now he's managing to stay alive, holding down that top red position, preventing anybody here on the attacking team from making the push in. But man, Chicks on the Mav is just opening all of this up and making this very difficult for the defenders to hold on to the positions. And then there's Mira, goes down, and now in a 4v2 scenario with a minute left, it doesn't feel like it's going to need that 90 seconds.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It's all starting to fall apart for the defense. Now they're going to answer back, but the plan's starting to go down. A C4 to potentially be huge here. Not going to be able to get it off, though. Lou's able to potentially get this plan solidified. Crazy Cactus starting to make the push up. Knows he's got to be perfect for two here. He's going to find
there it is.
Now put it into an old-fashioned 1v1. Pistols out, looking for that body drop. Takes a couple of shots. Reload on the main gun and get active again, but he's but a bullet, and that's all it's going to take. Gopher takes him off the board, and it's a 4-0 start.
Practiced patience there, holding on to the angle. You know the defense is in panic mode because the diffuser is down. He's panic peeking the corners, going for the pistol pop, but when the attacker is holding an ACOG and has got that advantage, very difficult situation for the defender to try and play. And I put up a hell of a fight. Again, comes down to a 1v1, so they are getting close. They are on the precipice, the edge of winning some of these rounds, and are just unable to close it out. Your picks up another one, goes 4-0 here to start this thing off. We may have started this bracket off maybe just a little bit slow, but certainly we are catching up time.
No kidding. No kidding. Yours just on a bit of a tear, right? And here's the deal. In those rival roller series, you know, it wasn't just the best controller players in the world playing, which some of them absolutely are. But the other deal is there is so many huge names in the Siege community that they were playing against. So it wasn't like we're playing, you know, some no-name, you know, players on the other side. They're taking on players like Spoit, you know, they're taking players on like Uzi and all of these players who are considered some of the greatest in the world to currently contemporarily do it. So, you know, it feels like a 4-0 start. Feels like it's pretty on point.
Yeah, this is definitely a good team, and you know, even though making the change over into the PC comp side, yeah, they still have got it cooking. But look at this. Look at Cactus running the trip connectors all over, covering some long angles downstairs. Honestly, I love that we're getting to see a little bit more of this. It's one of the reasons why I love casting all levels of Siege, as they've got the opportunity to try this out. You're not playing it safe, playing the same 5 ops every time. In this case, you take a look at the GSN lineup, right? Denari plus the Scopos on the same lineup. Honestly, never thought we were going to see that in competitive Siege here to start off, but finally, it's happening.
Time to make it.
Finally, it's happening. I love it. Honestly, let's send it. And if you're new to Siege or you're new to this season, Denari with those trip canisters gets 7 of them. So the potential to just lock down areas is huge. They can go for about, I think, 20 meters is what you called it. And they do damage, right? They will slow you down. They shield break. Plus, you're bringing along that comfort pick to the great gun. J Guns is able to take one off the board, and they're going to claim that man advantage. And look at that. Just like that, Lou's going to start getting the plant down, but they're going to find it. A Vector able to take him off the board as they get their first answer back. 2 low health scenarios, but it's starting to fall apart again. Trip connector is going to slow somebody down. It's going to be Ghost going down, and it just falls off.
No
hard.
way.
J Guns takes one. Gopher takes one. 5-0 start for YURRRRRR.
Damn, I thought this the round that we were going to see GSN pick up a win. They're holding the vertical significantly better, running the Scopos upstairs on the second floor, expecting to push into the kitchen very quickly. We know they're aggressive. Exactly what happens, right? He jumps, the attackers jump in kitchen, they work on opening up the hatch, and Splash is there with the Scopos ready for it, but misses his shots, gives away the position, and YURRRRR goes upstairs and hunts him down, kills him. They lose the vertical play, and then the rest of that round played out again on the vertical, and YURRRRR was just playing that better. It's another indication, and I know we say it all the time here, but for all the people, you know, new competitive players will say it, play the vertical. That is, vertical wins the games here in the age of verticality and Siege, and right now you're just playing that just a little bit better than the GSN side, and the score line is certainly, it feels a little bit more lopsided than we've seen all of the rounds go, but YURRRRR is closing them out. 5-0 start. 7-2 in their previous map here on Clubhouse, but they're dominating as they're just heating up in this element 6 tourney.
All right, test on the tertiary run, take the catch, CCTV, and because of the Clash ban, we're not going to see them, and it's all 3 shields on the side of GSN. They just do not want to deal with it. And so, bring along the Bandit to try to slow this process down, but Maverick is on board to also stop that process. Open up, get some nades in there, get some fire, take them off of that breach. Plenty of potentiality here.
It feels like we're watching this attacking team just move very quickly. There's certainly an opportunity for a good defensive team to try and exploit that, take advantage of it, and we've seen moments of brilliance, pockets of positivity there, but overall GSN struggling to deal with the ultra-aggressive play that we're seeing from the YURRRRR team. So, yeah, you said it, opening up sight lines. They've got the Mav in place, in play, and now holding angles off of that. So Bandit battery is about to be cleared out. There it is. So they're certainly going to get this main breach open, but without the castle on the defensive side, it sort of leaves all of this space open. And Boots the first to go down. That's a big pick here for GSN.
Absolutely unconfirmed on the kill just yet, so potential recovery operation in place. Man, J Gun's taken off the board. Ghost is able to take him down, and that's going to be the frag leader for YURRRRR. Gone, done, and dusted, which means now you've got that man advantage by 1 as they were able to get Boots back up. But Lou, not to be let down, Lou good for 2 as he claims the man advantage for the side of YURRRRR. Minute and 23 still left. Now going to start to see some of that vertical play you were just talking about in action.
There it is from the defense, though, as Cactus plays it against this attacking team. Splash takes down Boots. This is huge. Their best opportunity. Going to find one here on round 6. It's a 2v1.
That's right. So it's going to be go for the last alive. The diffuser is down inside of construction, so excuse me. So he's going to have to make his way back. A quick pre-fire, looking towards the backside, and he's in a position to get a plant because they're pretty far away here. A faux plant, maybe take the kill onto Catwalk, and then put pressure towards Red. There's 40 seconds, still plenty of time in which to get something done. Gets Valcam off the board. And a little bit of a slowdown here is none of the defenders really wanting to make the push. No C4s in the hands of either one of them, so the long distance denial is out of the question. It means we're going to take our first pick towards Red, and they're just kind of playing a little passive on it. It's not a bad plan.
Hell yeah.
Forcing him to plant.
They need to play passive. Do not throw bodies at this man. He can absolutely shut you down. He's sitting at 5-1 now. I didn't expect them to let him get the diffuser down, but Cactus, great job cleaning this one up. Goes 5-5. That was exactly what they needed, and they avoid the shutout.
Yep, good. Finally getting their first round on the board, and they played it right? They had that man advantage, and then they just let him get in, make him make the mistake, force him to take that 2v1, and they finally claim a round. GSN gonna get one on the half, which means now they got to get active on the attack side.
Okay, bands as they're coming out. We're going to see as the side swap happens. We saw previously that YURRRRRR didn't want to have to deal with the Hibana and the Thermite, and so they're going to start off with the Thermite here, and Glisten wants to be able to try and open up those hatches, at least make it a little bit easier so they don't have to bring along any of the EMPs to try and deal with that utility, or just, very precise Hibana play. And if you lose the Hibana, I think that certainly makes it much more difficult. So you almost have to ban the Cade to start off with. And they played Clash to great effect, although, again, didn't convert it into round wins. They want to avoid giving that option there to YURRRRR with some shield gunners for sure.
Yep, absolutely. Maverick going to get taken off the board on the attack side of it. Clash, you said, gone. I think this feels like pretty standard bans for the both, as they're not opting for the Hibana this time. YURRRRR banned the Hibana, but she just wasn't a factor in that last one.
Defenders,
so Maverick gone, done, and dusted.
by
We're going to see the cache CCTV is the primary for this back end of match number 2. And it's Slowdown City. Because the zombies left alive, or left on the board and not banned, they're of course going to use her. Just great at redefining the site. Couple that with the extension capabilities of Castle and the pace-setting operator that is Fenrir. This is a go-to defense. It's going to be a tough one. It's one away from a match point scenario run. GSN, it is time for them to do it. It's time to step up. It's time to claim those rounds, and they got to do it off that momentum they built in the last round.
It feels like we're watching Boots set up downstairs on the lounge side, and they're running what we definitely would think about as sort of the standard Castle lineup here, locking it down the downstairs here, and just giving him an awful lot of sight lines and taking advantage of whether or not this Glisten attack is going to make some of those mistakes as they push in. So this is for sure the compy strat downstairs for the Cache CC side for Clubhouse, which means Glisten is going to have to be careful. Expect where all of these positions are going to be. The fact that it's compy means they should know where all of these options are and have a plan to deal with it.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
Okay, so first 30 seconds, drones starting to get active. You can see that they did bring along the Monty, the walking drone, a wealth of information should he be left alive, and they're already starting to put the pressure onto the castle, and that's going to be the first one taken down as Gopher and Boots go. They claim that man advantage by 2, and GSN another good start here as they start to push in.
What a play!
Yeah, game sense on point. Jay Gunn's just gonna keep doing what he is doing. Man, that Monty was just caught unaware. Siege is a game of information, and right now, ignorance is deadly, my friends. We get equalized on the body balance. Sky again with the vertical play as they're shooting down through it. They claim the man advantage, the body balance, and now it's a little bit of a pressure point here for GSN as they've got to find one to equalize.
Man, that is tragic. We watched GSN play fantastic, right? We said walking into this that they had to expect and deal with the downstairs lounge compy play, and they did. They brought the Monty, backed up by the Zofia, able to clear out the player downstairs, but then the fall apart upstairs from not worrying about, not managing the vertical after they gained that space downstairs. Honestly, is tragic, and no favorites on either side here for the Siege double shot. I just want to see more rounds and see both of these teams put up their best as we go through this Element 6 tourney. Now it is double elimination, so the loser moving down to the lower bracket, not out yet.
That's right. So a little bit of impact tricking as they're going to try to stall out some of those Selmas here in this 2-2, and they're able to stop one but not both. So getting in through the main breach is now a viable option, looking towards the catwalk, and it's a good thing he's doing it because there's somebody playing, waiting, ready to get sent. Jay Guns is going to get a little bit of damage as they're trying to take those Kiva barriers off, and he's going to make the big rotate. And this is a good call, not the run out, but the Siege timing. He's not going to be able to get it because they go in now to the top of red. They're going to take another shot at him. Not going to have down behind the desk as they find themselves inside of sight. That's going to be Cactus to find one. Jay Guns to answer back again, and now back into a 1v1. But Cactus is going to take him. Jay Guns gets dusted, and now GSN is able to find their second round, and that momentum starting to get up a little bit.
Wow, what a shift there, and honestly, off the back of Crazy Cactus, he's sort of been what feels like the leader here. I don't know whether or not he's the IGN or the IGL on this team, but man, just coming alive when they needed him to. Coming down to the 1v1, this time winning it where he previously lost. So that was exactly what they needed. From the Your side, man, so close. Again, great play. It honestly felt like we were watching Glisten take a little bit too long trying to get some of those sight lines open. They weren't even opening up the highway castle barricade until there was 35 seconds left. Ash used her breach charge to open that up, so it felt like it was taking a really long time, but they managed to clutch it up when they needed to and find a second, and that's an attacking win, the opening attacking win here. So still a ton of pressure on this GSN team as Yurrrrrrr is up 5-2 on what was a very great start to this map.
Yeah, they had a plan. They were trying to see it through. When it didn't happen and they got down into that 2-2, they reaggressed, and they found themselves another win. Good job on GSN. Now let's see if they can keep that momentum going. You're going to need some adaptations now. They head down to the basement. Now, also, it was a Catch CCTV site, arguably one of the easier outside of bar stage, obviously. So now you got to do it on Church Arsenal, arguably a bit tougher. See what they're bringing to the table. It's all the standards, though.
Yeah, and this is, again, we just watched your play Clubhouse in that first one at 7-2, but look at this, Jay just right out in front. We watched him go for a spawn peek previously. He loses the battle. They had a drone on him, and he still manages to take down Splash, and they lose the Grim. That is tragic. No.
There is no way that they're going to allow Jay Guns to keep doing that. They finally get the trade-off, but yet again, he's back up into that 12 category. Boots is able to find one now into a 4v2, and this starts to feel like nerves are coming into the play, right? You're getting late into the round, you're starting to mount a comeback, and now you're in an impossible situation. And I'm not saying they can't do it, because obviously it can be brought back, but 2v4 with a shield as one of your only options feels like a tough, especially if your frag leaders are already off the board, your known gunners. Pistol rings out, he's not going to get the shots. He's going to go down. It's going to put all onto Ghost, sitting at that 3-7. Sky's able to confirm the kill, and now, well, Lou's going to take the flank of a sentry here, and they're going to claim it. Now, run its match point scenario.
All right, 6-2 on after a basement win. This is exactly where we were going into round 9 on the previous match, as Let It Happen faltered there on round 9 to give Yurrrrrr the win on round 1 game. So here on round 2, we're going to see a different outcome. The GSN fans, you step up, show up in the chat. It's time, my friend. Can they pull off a victory here? Stave off match point for just a little bit longer. GSN's got to be perfect 4 in a row to pull it off as we head to gym bedroom. So they're running this standard lineup. They played Cash CC basement bedroom as their 3 opening
protect your
rounds on
bombs from
attack.
being
So
defused by
they have
attackers.
got a playbook and running it to the T.
Okay. Yep. Keep it going. Into the gym bedroom. No breach denial on board. Of course, the bandit is available. They're going to opt for just the mute instead. Bit of a strange Kiba barrier there, Jay Guns. I don't know if that one quite worked out the way that he was wanting to. But kind of running the same here, right? We find ourselves with Intel deny. We've got some slowdown capabilities, Legion, Fenrir, Aruni, Azami on the board. Gonna look to have a pretty huge hold here inside of that gym area, as it seems to be one of those points of contention.
Left not mine going out.
All right, Fenrir playing a little bit far off. The Lou watching the garage side with a little bit of the extension. So most of this team not having a huge extension. They do have space over on the cache side. They're going to block off the drones here. So it looks like they're going to hold on. Oh, I guess they've moved 3 players over onto this side of the map, expecting GSN to try and take it. But they've got some intel downstairs on the bar side. Look at this, Monty making the push in.
Almost finds it. Jay Gun's in some trouble. Jay Gun's gonna get pistol popped to the body drop. Monty's able to take him off the board. Man advantage, and that body balance is gonna sit into the hands of the attacking team. Oop. Almost finds himself in danger, but a quick flick is going to make Monty rethink if he wants to regress onto that. Lou gets taken down as Buck's able to find the headshot, so man advantage. That body balance sits heavily now in the favor of GSN. Pretty good to potentially find themselves a third on the round, although you got to deal with Skype. He's going to take Cactus off the board. The hero of the last round, unfortunately not going to play on again in this one. 4-3, defense looking to lock in.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because we were talking about a crazy Cactus had been kind of that guy that point that kept the team in it all the way to the end. So now 2 rounds he's gone down. That puts them in a little bit of a tougher position. So they do have the advantage from the body balance side. You said it, we're in a 4v3 with this first half of the round gone. And now we're seeing GSN almost slow down. Now they're going to work the drones a little bit. They do have to deal with the mute jammers from Skype, but now seeing, okay, plenty of space. They're able to push in, and doesn't look like they've got anybody covering on the Cache CC side anymore. They've all rotated back on. But so this is just slow down city here from the Yur side, and it's all passive util doing the job.
Yeah, now Fenrir Gadget gonna make it a little bit tough as the Monty starts to make the push in, but nobody there to really respond to that piece of util just yet, as they've all kind of bunkered back down into sight. They're gonna play the angle, they're gonna play the cuts, and they're gonna try to isolate one as they make it in. Specifically, looking to that Monty. Sledge is on the board. He's not on tech though. He's bringing out the L85 instead of the shotty. We'll see if it plays out. Sky's able to take Jeff off the board now into a 3-3. Monty having a little bit of damage and needs to drop down to the hatch to potentially get out of the danger, and there it does.
Wow, wow.
Rotate on down to there. So it's but a bullet for both Monty and Mute. Ghost gets ripped off the board. A DMR, deadly in the hands of those who can use it correctly. Monty able to respond back as Boots goes down, now into a 2-2 situation. 13 seconds left. Defense just has to hold it out as the Boots confirmation goes through. 8 seconds, they've got to push in, and they're doing it split, of course. Legion, Skyte's able to find them. Not enough time, just not enough time. It was a valiant effort. I mean,
tragic.
GSN was looking real good towards it. Seems like they were just starting to get going, but unfortunately, it's a best of one, right? And a best of one, you got to be on point from the very beginning, and you're just had it for this one. GG's, GSN. It was fun to watch that one.
All right, my friend. Yeah, that was big play there by Yur. They come up huge, winning 7-2, both Clubhouse maps in a row. Yeah, don't take this team to Clubhouse. If Oregon was available, I'm pretty sure that's where we would have seen those maps played out. But Clubhouse, the place that they're clearly practiced on, and it's unfortunate if you're a GSN fan that you ended up in that position. The good news is, though, double elimination bracket, down but not out. So they've got one more opportunity. So now we're going to push along here in the Element 6 bracket, try and find out which is the next team. So we'll take a short break as we work that out and send it back to, yeah, going to pull up that NAL stream. Where are we at currently, my friend?
Man, it is getting crazy. Oxygen brought it back, right? They brought it back. They took it up. Now, Oxygen is expected to win this. They're expected to win it. But the possibility to let it get to overtime just to screw over DZ is still a viable option. Currently sits, I believe, 4-3. As they're getting active. So we're going to send that back to our BRB screen. So you got a little something to watch, a little drama while we get the next one. If you've got a match that you want to see, throw it in the Twitch. Add us on Twitter. Which game are you looking forward to the most here in Element 6? Qual's #1, and we'll try to get it on stream for you. Until then, sit back, relax. We'll be right back with another map. Ayo.
Let's go.
What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. I am just like legitimately shocked, Run, that we are running through these so fast. Like it is just not a Siege player's mentality to get in the lobby and ready fast. But here we are. We're in it. We're doing it. So it's going to be Akron taking on Team Nutorious.
Yeah, be a fun one. And for sure, one of the reasons we said we love the double elimination brackets, we can sort of hop around and try and get all of the teams on stream as much as we can. So we're looking for more teams to cast between today and next weekend when Open Qualifier #2 happens here. So this game, University of Akron taking on Team Nutorious. And this University of Akron team, very close to the one that made it, qualified for Challenger Series, along with JJ & Co. and M80X and Core and Revelations. This was a very good team, and they put up a hell of a show making it into Challenger Series. And eventually, we're just talking about Envy on stream, that team right now that actually qualified for Pro League off of Challenger Series. Akron made it to the playoffs, so looking very good, but they get to take on Team Nutorious, and it's almost game time, my friend. We got to figure out where we're going.
I guess that's a good question. Is it going to be Clubhouse again? Negative. All right, couple of early bands. Skyscraper off the board. Border Lair gone. Clubhouse towards the end almost squeaked on through, but instead, this time, we're going to head to Kafe, my friend, and that has had a bunch of play in the comp scene lately, and could be... I don't know. I couldn't call it on who's going to take this one. These are some goated teams on both sides.
Yeah, you said it. It's game time, my friend. Kafe, and who's going to come out ahead as we walk into this map? It's a big open map, the giant square box. Everybody's got the opportunity to take shots across the board in this map. Who's going to find the victory? I know, we talked about this. Akron had really a generational run at the end of 23-24 in the collegiate scene, winning almost everything. They have sort of been usurped by Fisher recently, but one of the last times you and I got a chance to cast and see this team was the Butler Invitational Finals for the collegiate team a year ago, and that was an Akron victory. So they've changed up a few of their players. Got Aimkey on the team now coming in to try and help them. We'll see how good they are running through Element.
You know, it can only get better when you're adding LeBronzo onto the team. Aimkey is just a different breed of talent. He's good. He's had some wild success in the T2 scene, has just been a GOAT in the community, and now on to Akron to help them secure some wins. Got to meet a couple of these players on the Akron side, which is pretty cool. On the other side of it, though, Run, we've got some fun players that we've cast 100 million times being played out as well. So this one, to go back and forth, this one feels like this has the potential to go the distance, my friend.
Take a look at what the defense bringing to the team. So yeah, Kosa playing Aimkey, Silo has Space, Plexios. This is a good squad, and bringing out the projectile deny combined there with the Cade and the extra intel there from Aimkey. So this Akron band's all focused on trying to deny some of that attacker utility that really causes chaos. They want this to be a more controlled defense. So I think banning out the Ying and the Grim, both easy ways to try and make the Great Windows Simulator a little bit easier.
Yeah, W bands and can be seen on maps like Kafe, Ying, Grim, Mira, and Castle. Not a shield ban, not a breach denial ban in sight. And I honestly love it. I'm here for it. It's getting very targeted here towards the end of it. We're going to start out on the second floor. You see it played out a lot like you would the third floor, which is good because it's, you know, third floor widely considered a solve site. So go down, and if you're going to have to play it anyways, make them jump down a floor as well. And just a quick update. I know you guys were probably watching it on the stream. Envy didn't take it to OT. DZ secures themselves their spot, I believe, in the playoffs. I don't know if they secure it, but they're not kicked out yet, at least, based on that last performance. Oxygen is able to take it. And somebody funny in the chat said DZ now needs to buy Oxygen Chipotle, as they were allowed to hang around a little bit longer.
I mean, it seems only fair. Yeah, that's a great trade. Speaking of trades, I thought we were going to see Jigorku take that battle, but no, he goes down playing the Ram. So they need the breach upstairs. They need the Ram to stay alive so they can open up some of these sight lines. And, man, double kill from Ice Cold coming out. That's a huge pick. They lose the Ram, but win that body battle. So now in a 3v2. How about a 2v2 as Aimkey picks up that C4 kill?
Yep, Josh blasted off that C4, does give that body balance, tipped over to the side of Akron, but they're going to find space down. Not completed on the kill, not confirmed.
Digging them out!
But potentially, right? They're not going to be able to get in and save him, so that's going to be good to take space off the board now into a 2-2. It's the DMR of Dokubi taking on that TSG of Cade, so it's the long-distance battle-off here. They've got a little bit of intel potentially where they're coming from as the push down white started to happen.
Yeah, the Dokubi call going out, and early on using this, causing some chaos there for the defenders. I gotta believe that early on, Dokubi looks like a fan favorite potentially to get banned out. But the long range holding Aimkey Silo still ready there, waiting. Gonna have to make this push though, reading as the site. So this feels very slowed down at this point. Good. DTG just stalling out here at the end of this round.
Yeah, that's the tough part of it, right? They had to reassess and readdress, and they kind of just have not been able to get it. The push on the laundry not going to go anywhere as TTG gets taken off the board now into a 2v1. 5 seconds, not enough time. Cade's going to take good off the board, and that's going to be the first one as Akron's going to claim it.
All right, not unexpected on the defensive sided map for Akron to pick up a win there. And like you said, one of the better sites. That third floor considered the certainly one of the solves. So they're going to hit the secondary site now, going down to the kitchen service side. And Aimkey running the Valkyrie again. I think this is a good call, and that could also be a favorite from a ban perspective. We used to talk about Valkyrie, how good she was on Kafe all the time. In the old banning system, because Cafe's got so many of the big open rooms, spots where you can use cam that covers, you know, atop the brown stairs, 3 floors worth of space. That's a lot of coverage, a lot of intel. So Valkyrie has got a lot of value here on this map, and right now Aimkey doing a great job of managing that. So Team Nutorious got to find a way around it. Yeah, Ice Code picked up a double, not enough to carry his team forward. So as we get into this one, I also like seeing the space and Silo
the greatest moment in my life.
Area denial ops. That feels like a good option.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, plenty of stuff, or plenty of cams to be taken, of course, as Ice Cold's going to be bringing out the Brava, hoping to avoid the C4 for the next one, take that intel so he can't get sussed out. IQ going to try to add on to helping find those. And it's really making sure that they're not going to get spawn peeks out. Plexios able to take Jogorku off of the board, and that's going to be a huge early pick.
Yeah, tragic there. They lose the IQ, so they lose the intel, but big thanks for the tier 1, Dark Knight. Appreciate you joining us and being a part of the Siege Double Shot. Yeah, Observer coming in, showing us where did that battle take place through the wall. You can see the Brava come in, going to steal one piece of this defensive utility. Plexio's going to lose one of those Aruni gates early here, so they can at least walk in without having to burn some of that extra utility. But he loses the Brava drone to start off with. He's still got one left in pocket, but fighting from a 4v5, they're going to have to be just a little bit more careful as they push in the map.
Yep, full top down clear here as they're trying to push everybody down back into sight. And the only one up there is going to be, well, Frost, who's going to find the kill onto Gridlock. Huge, right? And now they've given themselves a plan B. The hatch, a foregone conclusion to get opened up. So they're just going to go ahead and rotate down. And now they claim the full man advantage. 5 versus 2. Plenty of time left for Team Nutorious to get active. But they're going to have to start getting some of those trade backs right now.
All right, the Claymore coming out there, going to try and prevent anyone walking up those stairs as they try and work the vertical side. And we talked about it a ton during that previous game. You're just very good at managing the vertical. They've interestingly that they didn't really bring along anybody to manage vertical. Using the ace, the Selma, to open up the floor is a really inefficient way to try and manage that piece. Ice Cold using the shoddy this time, just a little bit easier, but again, moving slowly on the attack, and I think that benefits this Akron team.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's going to be the smoke canister start to go out, but the prone pone and own position is going to take Silo off the board. Plexios and Aimkey able to answer back, so it's going to be all on the good shoulder here to try to bring this one back around. The fortunate part, doesn't have to be on pace for the ace. There's only 4 left alive. The unfortunate part, there's still 4 left alive, and one of them is Plexios, and he has a DMR. They're going to take that first floor, and a good bit of play here.
All right, 2-0 to open this thing up. Yeah, you said it. Great play there by Akron. They managed the primary and secondary sites. Where are they going to go next? Completely avoiding that third floor. Mining? I've always felt like this was for sure the quad site on this map, but certainly the second floors have gotten just a little bit better.
Yeah. I honestly, I like mining over the third floor. I just like it better, right? Third floor is that great
Attackers
window
need to
simulator,
locate and defuse
and
as many
once
bombs
they
as they
take
can.
Ticket, once they take Sky or a new hatch and put some pressure on Cocktail, round over, right? Attack and then just get in, get yourself a default plant, and it's over. So if you're going to have to play that sort of sense anyways, why not just go down to 2F? Even mining being that great pick. The problem, the potential pinch point here, Run, is we've seen a lot of quick plants in through that mining window.
Honestly, I want to see more of that in Siege. We know it's the tactical game. It's the game where you're focused on what's the best strategy. But honestly, I love a quick plan. Love the quick execute when they come out. Teams that just feel dangerous enough to try and take that. And if you see a team start to pick up a big lead, if Akron picks up a bunch of extra rounds here, we might see it on our side. So that's the question: is Nutorious going to try and use that to their advantage? Can they try and play a quick execute? But not again. Not again, Aimkey.
LeBronzo just can't be stopped. What do you do when Aimkey's floating, my friend? Tough one. Your entry's gone. Point man pointed back to the lobby on that one. And what makes that tough is now you've got some difficult ways to deal with these Maestro cams, right? Ash at least can get that gadget in and shoot some of those things down. Now what in the world do? You got to wait. Hopefully the Twitch can get in and get a shot before the Maestro cam shoots back. We'll see if that's going to be the case here, Run.
Oh, they've got it. Yes, he's the gadget battle as he watches it light up. They're watching, and just Maestro does just a little bit better job at managing that versus the Twitch. So Ice Cold took a shot at it, but look at this again, playing the vertical. They have got to get Aimkey out from the cigar area upstairs. Otherwise, he's going to prevent the jump in and just be a general menace. And take a look at these Kiba barriers. Boy, again, you're talking about what the ban phase is going to be bringing in here at the conclusion of round 3. There's a lot of options. They have shown some great plays across the board, and so it doesn't really feel like one particular operator has been that real a steadfast block from a defensive side.
Yeah, got to find a way to do this. Man, this hold up top is just going to be absolutely devastating if they can't find a way to push out Aimkey. Sits deathless here. within 3 rounds. Maestro's still active, looking for those drones, looking for where they're going to come in, and that's going to be free, taken off the board as the headshot rings out. Now, unfortunately, that's going to be the breach, done and dusted. So now the top of red, hoping to get active and cause some chaos and not end up in a coffin.
Last 45 seconds, they need to step on the gas here at this point. We're not seeing the quick plant, not seeing the quick execute, and again, slowed down. So got a bunch of DMRs on, on the side here of this attacking team, but down in a 2-0 on the tertiary site. This should be their best opportunity, but with Akron 5 stacked right now, this is a very tough hill to climb. They finally clear aim key from upstairs, but is it too little too late?
I'm not sure. Now gets just about equalized as they find themselves in a 3-2. Maestro Cam going off, causing a little bit of chaos here. He's inside of the train, so safe 10 seconds. Going to take the swing, but no, TTG gets wiped. Joe Gorku now in a position to try to bring this back. He's got to get in here, and unfortunately, Maestro's got an LMG. Plexios with enough bullets to just fry the entire team, wastes them all, and gets the one.
Yeah, that was just a good play there by Akron. And honestly, I thought if the defense had maybe identified that they were running the Maestro again, that Ice Cold might bring out the Brava rather than a Twitch, which I think he was more successful with on the previous round. So we'll maybe see that change come up. The Maestro just dominant both from a utility and still hiding in the train. Oh, geez. Oh, no. They're talking about what we talked about in chat. Yeah, just right now, the Maestro just a little bit better. So he's going to stay out. So we talked about who was going to be banned, what was going to be the way that we were going to see these play out. The Dokkaebi being the choice on the attacking side, and then from the defense, they're going to lose the Mute. So not going for any of the specific ops, but the Mute may be just a little bit more general in taking care of the drone utility that Team Nutorious on the attacking side like bringing out. So that gives them more flexibility to play either the Twitch or the Brava, or in this case, showing both.
I think the Mute was the right call. Dokkaebi off the board as well is good because of that roam game. It's 3 floors. The potential to be down below is there, although since we're heading to the second floor, they're going to be, of course, an attention to the top. As you can see him start getting up like it is that 3rd floor defense. So off of the Brava, off of the Twitch, and instead opting for that flank watch. Both Nomad and Gridlock are going to be utilized here to make sure that they're not going to get... Oh, where does that... Oh. Okay, Run, write that one down. Write that one down. That's going on our ranked book. Blocking off Freezer and from Piano with that single Cade Claw in the corner. W Observer.
W Observer, but geez, Akron is just playing incredibly aggressive here on the defense. That is 3 for 4. 3 of these 4 rounds they've managed to get an early spawn kill, and Ice Cold says no audio. That's unfortunate. We assumed audio was fixed here in Siege. Siege X as we moved in, a big focus for this team, and then aim key goes into a battle. They trade at the end and really put Team Nutorious at a deficit, but man, what an aggressive opening gambit that Akron has played on most of these rounds. 3 of 4 rounds, picking up a spawn kill or a kill within those first early minutes of the game. So incredible play by them, and really just doing some psychological damage to Team Nutorious, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right? Because even if you're not landing the spawn peaks, which they are, even if you're not hitting the runouts, which they are, it still plays out into the mental, right? You have to look. You have to be more cautious. And there was that time period of Comp Siege where you didn't see the attackers leave the spawn for at least 20 seconds trying to hold off not getting the spawn peak. Now with the ACOGs and stuff gone off of the defense, Space able to find Joe Gorku, and Space good for 2. TTG now able to answer back into a 3-1. Without the ACOGs, it felt like that might slow down, but not going to be the case here. Gridlock alone on an island, going to take a swing, but unfortunately, TTG going to get taken down by the TSG.
some siege poetry there at the end of round 4, but man, it has been all Akron at this point. 4 in a row. Team Notorious struggling really to get anything going on the attacking side. Now, it is, okay, we'll call it defensive-sided map, but Akron is just playing just a little bit better across the board. I would love to see what this team might be able to do with a 5-stack going into more than the first 2 minutes and 50 seconds of a round to see what could Team Notorious do when they have got the complete team. So what are they going to do this time? At least showing a couple of shields, but from the defensive side, yeah, pulling out the shield as well. Aim key this time, going to run the clash, which makes spawn peeking a little bit more difficult, which I think is good news for Team Notorious. The problem is the clash is just a little bit better at managing the util, managing the flow of the game downstairs, and really they've been able to control the pace. We've been talking about it feels like Team Notorious is sort of struggling to have space early enough, have the execute set up early enough in the round, and are just sort of scrambling at the end. Clash, I think, is going to make that just a little bit more difficult, and trying to hide the op until the very end.
I like that strat, right? And yeah, who are you going to bring along to fight the Clash? They didn't bring anybody here to specifically do that, right? Maybe a couple of nades to force them back. Josh did bring out the blitz, so, you know, could be the potential for that shield-on-shield action. But, man, now that you can place that thing down and peek it like a deployable, it just feels like we need something like a Nomad, need something like a Kafe to really force them off of that one.
All right, my friend, as we get into it, that first 30 seconds dying down, and all 5 left alive. No spawn peeking this time around. We said an aim key not going to take all the extra chances. Going to hold on to the bakery, though, just watching the main door. As you see the orange outline start to approach, and it's also Silo taking a little bit more of an aggressive stance there, but when he's backed up by the Clash, I think he feels a little bit more confident running into it. So, got the blitz. We said 1 shield still there, and now I like the fact that V here has brought out the Jackal. So they're going to go for this extra roam clear with the combination of the Lion and the Jackal. I think that works really well for them. The problem is if Akron just bunkers back down, they've been winning a lot of these 1v1 battles.
All right, Blitz coming down the red stair. Now going to try to get active on this Clash potentially, but they've got head holes all the way across red wall here, so a little bit more difficult, and afraid of the potential Harry Potter push. Double Claymore is going to solidify holding on to it, and a potential sneaky Claymore kill if they kill the first one. No, active on the main door, looking for somebody to make the rotate. You said they didn't make the run out. Well, they still have the potential to do so, although now Blitz is, oh no, in a bad position. If he gets spotted out, the run out could be pretty huge here. Now there's only 63 seconds left onto the board, and we're 5 alive. Run. This feels like Bakery's going to turn into a bloodbath.
Same thing again, just running too slow, getting caught off guard, having to fight back in sort of a desperate situation rather than being very set up at this point. So, yeah, it feels like a huge problem. Kosa going crazy, 4-3-3. Everybody on the Akron team just very balanced, everybody contributing. This is a very good team. So, Team Notorious got their work cut out for them because it's really looking like a 5-0 start unless Team Notorious can throw something big in the last 25 seconds.
Okay, looking like they're going to get active towards the freezer side push here. They're down a man. Blitz gets in, now gets active. Flash goes off. They're going to take a couple of shots, and there it is. Josh able to take Plexios down now into a 4-4 as they've made their way in to freezer, but there's just fire everywhere, Run, and that's going to make it incredibly difficult to get through as we get it down now into a double down. Aim key, the last alive. Plant goes off. Holy moly! Answered back, though, because it is LeBronzo. Gonna have to take on this Buck in this post-plant scenario.
No, he's going to be able to. There was 3 players downed on the map at the same time. So Aimkey's going to go ahead and pick up Kosa, give them just a little bit of opportunity. TTG, I don't think he's got the option to pick up his down player. So Freevee is down. It is going to be all up to the Buck, and he wins one!
Yeah, wins a huge one, but just is not going to be enough. It's, oh, man, they were bringing that one back, but it just goes all to hell, my friend. Freezer firefight falls flat.
Great pickup there. Great choice to go ahead and try and pick your opponent up. Even though you're in a post-plant scenario, that was just practiced caution and calm as they went for the post-plant scenario. And Team Notorious did a great job of going for the plant, getting that objective-based gameplay in and down. It was exactly what they needed to do. It looked close, and man, the fact you had 3 downed players on the map at the same time is certainly a rarity. It's not often you get to see it, so tons of assists coming out in this game, but 5-0 start for Akron. Really one-sided here for Team Notorious. Again, the good news is we're still in the upper brackets. Still going to see this Team Notorious is not down and out completely. Even if they lose here, they get a lower bracket run started. But Akron right now is just, it looks to be on fire.
Yeah, a little bit of a David versus Goliath scenario here, right? Akron has just been very dominant in the competitive scene lately, and because of that, their communication, their coordination is just absolutely on point. So take it back down to mining. Second floor hold, and they're going to do a lot of what we saw earlier. Maestro back onto the board, and even though Brava is available, we're not going to see her brought out. That feels like a miss here.
Yeah, and Ice Cold was doing so good with the Bravo. We talked about that early on, but honestly, the Deimos, though, is a great pick. One of the things we see, the Akron team doing a great hold upstairs, very much focused on the vertical. That is certainly one of the Deimos' strong points, so I like the fact that they changed that up. You're going to lose a piece of that intel game, but gaining the directly where the operators are rather than trying to steal intel could be more valuable, because that's what you need to do at the end of this. So it's a good choice there to bring out the Deimos.
Activated.
Yeah, I like that call as well. And a good way to try to force out aim key, which is going to be, you know, LeBronzo up and Piano again with the Kiba barriers is just a devastating potential hold to try to get in contact with. Yep, V done and dusted. Gets taken off the board. The entry point man Garbanzo as they take a couple of shots on White, hoping to get lucky on a pre-fire.
Oh, man, down already, so they lose the Ash. That means that these Kiba barriers upstairs are going to be just a little bit more difficult to deal with. So she's going to be able to run away at this point, completely back off the engagement, give up some of that space, but not completely, as she makes the push around to the White side and still has more Kiba barriers in pocket. So they've gained control of Cigar, but have not gained enough control of the complete third floor at this point, and losing some of that explosive util is going to make it a little bit tough. Now, is still hunting aim key, trying to get him off the board. He is the dangerous person here for this attacking team to try and manage, because that was the vertical piece. And now it looks like they finally got complete control of the third floor, but it's a final minute of gameplay.
Yeah, that Piano power position does not prevail, but aim key lives to tell the tale. He's a little under half HP, as he is the frag leader for Akron currently, but everybody putting work in. The problem is, now we're under a minute, and you still have those Maestro cams that you have to deal with. You still have 3 gas canisters in the hands of Smoke, which means denial, yeah, it's prevalent, it's present. Now they've got the pings looking for some vertical play. They're going to take a couple of shots, not going to be rewarded, unfortunately, just yet, as they're now fighting the battle back and forth. Vertical being huge here. TTG is able to take 1 off the board, and that's going to be the equalizer here on the body balance. Maestro, LMG starting to get antsy as he takes a couple of shots towards the vertical. The pressure up from White could be the play here if he's not sussed out. There it is, space to find Ice Cold off the board. No, man, puts the pressure onto White. No more, unfortunate. White Stare Warrior is not going to win that one. Now into a 2-2, into a 2-1 as Akron looking to do this with style. LeBronzo good for 2.
Aim key absolutely on fire tonight, hitting all of his shots, whether or not it's the aggression at the start of the rounds in Spawn Peak or closing out rounds, Clash, Zami. There is, right now, it doesn't seem like there's anyone that he wasn't being successful with. So that was a great play. Individual heroics there from aim key, but just great overall for Akron. So now All the pressure is on Team Nutorious. It is a double elimination bracket. They have a lower run opportunity, but no one wants to go down in a 7-0 style. So it is time, and if the Team Nutorious fans in the chat, time for them to step up and try and win a round or two, at least put some pressure on this Akron team. Let's see what else they can do.
Yep, well, 6-0 on the half. Doesn't seem like there's going to be a lot of action. The reverse sweep is tough. It is not just tough, but mostly improbable because it's just Akron just firing on all cylinders here. So, oh man, what do you do? What's the adaptation? Well, bring something new to the table, and it's a good place to do it is on the other side of the half, right? Something completely new. In fact, it's going to be defenders instead of attackers, and they're really going to lean into the slowdown here. Mutes on the board, smoke, so double shoddy action to be had. Of course, a zombie going to try to hole up inside of piano.
Need to locate and defuse
We'll see
as
if
many
it's
bombs as they
the power move. Maybe they're just feeling better on defense.
Jagorku says it ain't over till it's over. The problem is, it is one round away from being over. You are in a must-win scenario here for Team Nutorious. A lot of yapping going on in the chat, but who's going to show up in the server? Yeah, I mean, when you talked about the defensive operators, I love the mute smoke combo. It's just great. It's classic Siege. It feels very appropriate here for one of the maps that's been in the pool the longest. From an overall perspective, though, there's just a ton of pressure on this team. So Akron has been really lights out.
Yeah, a little bit of a miss here, I think, on the defensive side. Going all the way up to the third floor to start us out. It's just not as compy, right? It's just not as compy, and potentially could pay the price for it. We'll see if it's too solved, or if Akron's going to be able to, if Team Nutorious is going to be able to claim there first.
Look at this Ice Cold trying to get ready, holding on the spawn peak, jumping out that hell door, looking to take advantage of it, but no one from the attackers in sight. They don't go ahead and play that style, but look at that. 2 mute jammers gone, done and dusted very quickly, so well played there by Aimkey running the Twitch. So with the utility, with the gun, just making life difficult for Nutorious. At first minute of gameplay ticks down, getting close to the 2-minute mark, and not a lot of action other than clearing out the defensive utility.
Yeah, you're seeing the attackers really just putting a focus on making sure that they can check all of the ollie boxes, right, and make sure that they get themselves set up for an execute. Oh, good night from Good Nut as they find the first kill. Huge play. Line gets taken off the board, and that's going to be the body balance tipped in favor of the defense.
That was exactly what they needed, but Space makes TGG pay for it. Looked like he was going to be able to open up the hatch, drop down, but just a little bit too slow in executing. That's the second time we've seen that today, where really that hatch drop was just a fraction of a second too late. So we're working on clearing out the Kibas, but feels a little bit slow on the attacker side this time, but they still have a minute 20 left, even though it feels slow. They still have got tons of time.
Monty now making his presence known and aware as they make that push in from the top of red, trying to put some pressure onto the Azami here. They're going to get a little bit of damage onto Plexios, but that's keep barrier done and dusted. Couple of shots, it's just too many. Bullets from everywhere. Good goes down. Jorgoku able to find space off the board. And so Good's only down. He's not confirmed on it yet. Could potentially get into... Yeah, it was hard. Could potentially get into a position where he could get picked up, but it's Monty, the walking mountain drone, is able to just feed this intel. Right, and there it is. Good gets taken down as the pistol pop rings out. Now puts themselves into a 3-3 as they're going to start opening up onto the cocktail side of it. Put some pressure onto this Fenrir, or onto the smoke.
Is the C4 going to be huge here at the end? Jorgoku still got one in pocket. It's 20 seconds left. Are we going to see the explosive come out, or the defense is just holding back? They can afford to play this thing slow and just waste time for the attackers.
Man, that's exactly what they're doing. Now they just lost the last smoke, and he goes down as that smoke canister rings out. So Plexios gonna get taken, or find one. Ice Cold able to take aim key.
Nope.
Ice Cold find their first round off the back of some individual heroics. What a hold.
Wow, he says. Yeah, deserved. The team Notorious comes up with a defensive win upstairs on the 3rd floor. We were questioning whether or not that was the site to play, but honestly, it could have gone either way. The stall game there by Notorious worked. This Akron team was stacked up, playing 3-4 players sort of in the same area off the back of the Monty, and they just moved a little bit too slow. Now, they had plenty of time, right? They didn't have to be perfect here. They've only got to win 1 of the next 5 rounds before we even send this thing to OT. So still all the pressure on Team Notorious, and I don't know whether or not Josh can pull out those individual heroics round after round.
Potentially, he's the frag leader currently. Sits at 7 and 6. Bringing out the Wamai here, and they're going to take it down to the 2nd floor for this next one. And I think that's a good call, right? Save that bakery, especially if you're feeling confident on the 2F. You just won 3F, so kind of a running back scenario. You get a setup pretty similar. This time it's a little bit more investment into that area denial. As you said, Goyo's on board.
Yeah, the combination of the smoke mute and then throw in the extra Goyo here along with the projectile deny from Ice Cold. So they don't have a lot of intel, and that feels like something that could be a problem. Akron maybe was a little bit more direct overall, playing the shield, so maybe they don't feel like they need to have some of that extra intel, but Valkyrie's not banned, and just it provides a ton of value like we talked about on this map. Inky was part of the reason that playing the Valkyrie early on that they were so successful. So whether or not that's a miss, we'll see. I like the fact that they're running the flank watch there, the gridlock coming out, the thick lock. I was trying to think of her name.
Yeah, I like it, right? You can shut down some of those critical push points, rotating up or down back into sight. And I love some gridlock play, obviously. Fire's going to ring out here as they make their way into Cigar, taking a look towards Freezer. Nobody quick to respond just yet. So start to put some pressure here onto this top floor, being essential, of course. Claim that vertical to get into it. That's going to be IQ to dust it off the board, which means defense going to go up in the man advantage. Space actively answering back. Space now good for 2 on the headshots. Take a quick look down towards that hallway, because Space now on that very low HP scenario. He's just but a bullet.
Frag!
Yeah, even though Space is right there, just about near death, holding on, giving his team just that little advantage in there. More of that flank watch coming out, trying to fight V and that smoke from preventing them from making the push down the stairs. But a minute 15, again, Akron feels like moving just a little bit slow, but they have still got aim key in pocket left alive. 10-3 and 2, just having an incredible game here, trying to shut this thing down well before overtime. Team Notorious, though, all the pressure's on, my friend. 1 minute left as the time ticks down. You still got 2 left alive, but the attacker's pushing in.
Yeah, now it's all going to be up to V here in this with 1 smoke canister left, 48 seconds, and it's just not going to be enough. Fireplace gets taken down. It's a GG's. They claim 1 round, but it's unfortunately they're going to have to make the run in the lower bracket from here.
Yeah, Happy called it out in chat earlier. Bunch of one-sided games so far. 7-2, 7-2, 7-1 as we get to see Akron just continue what was a tremendous game that they had in Challenger Series and all of the collegiate play the year before. We're looking forward to see what they can do as we get close to that Butler land coming up, but they might have a solid element qualification victory on their back coming into that land. So great job for them. GG's to Team Notorious, but yeah, lower bracket run starts now.
That's right. Okay, Run. We're 2.5 hours into Element 6 quals, and we have seen three games already.
What?
That is absolutely wild. And not just the fact that they're blowouts, right? Not just the fact that they're going very incredibly quick, but also that players and teams are getting readied up incredibly fast, which is, not something we generally see here in the tournament play. So we're going to try to get another one.
I think I honestly think that as we've seen more leagues and especially Ubisoft utilize challenger mode, the teams are getting more familiar with it. So I think that's been a big boost as that's sort of become the default platform at this time that Ubisoft and everybody is moving towards. So yeah, get familiar with challenger mode, ready up quick. That is making this bracket move along very quick. So you said it, we're going to have at least one more game come out, and we're going to work on figuring out who that's going to be.
All right, yep, and call it out in the chat. Add us on Twitter. Who do you want to watch? We'll try to get it set up for you. But either way, fill your drinks up to the tippy top, sit back, relax, because we're going to try to find you another match. Ayo.
Let's go.
I mean, I think.
What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. We are getting on to the last of, I think, our upper bracket games today. And, man, this one promises to be a good one.
What a W raid as well. Thank you everyone joining us from Fed Stream. The NAL done and dusted for today, and honestly, it was a great day in the NAL. Some huge upsets. We were so close to seeing Dark Zero eliminated, but down here in the T2 scene, yeah, we're taking on Element. It is the open qualifiers. We're trying to find out which two teams are going to make it in the NA T2 scene here. Yeah. This has been a great day so far. 3 best of ones already in the books, and we're looking to find the next one here. The upper bracket is almost done for the night, so we got one more game, and we're just waiting on that match to get created.
Yeah, and this is going to be a good one, and we head back to the Jinxie-verse as we did do that Skite, Lou, and J-Guns couple of games earlier. This time, we're heading into the raid stream.
That's right. So if you're just joining us, welcome everyone. We're on the Element 6 Open Qualifiers here. We're trying to find which 2 teams are going to qualify and join the 12 invited teams here to Element 6. 2 more teams going to qualify next weekend. So they have to make it through a double elimination bracket here in Element 6. All of the info on Challenger mode and in the Discord. But if you are a T2, T3, T4 player looking to make your mark and win a bunch of cash, Element 6 is the place to do it. The bracket's closed for this weekend, but anybody can join for free next weekend. 128 slots up for grabs. We had 97 teams here fighting for a slot in Element 6 today.
Yeah, great place to make your name known. And they changed it up a little bit, right? You said there was 12 invited teams this time, which means they had to take a few away from that open qualifier spot, which means the ego, the pride on the line that is getting into Element, just a little bit tougher. And you know there's going to be some good names in that invited list.
Yeah, I mean, you could talk about who might we see from the T2 scene, right? Some of the greats, Exige, and that X-Space Tubes, Wanted Goons roster. I mean, they've been perennially a part of the T2 scene. Man, Focal, Karn & Co., some of the great names on the list, and might even get to see some of those T1 pros. We got to see Packer as a part of the Skyline Gaming Series Grand Final, throwing together a great roster there with a hint at Element as well, not in the qualifiers. So some great teams coming up as part of the invited section.
Yeah, man, I can't wait for this last one to get started. It has just been an absolute stomping for the teams that we've watched today. 7-2s, 7-0s. Did we see a 7-0?
It does happen early on in a bracket where anybody can join. You have a couple of great teams that come through and just, we call it maybe bracket blessed, but absolutely run the table early on, and we got to see that from the Your team. And then Akron we talked a lot about. They made it to the closed section of the Challenger League series over the summer, or in the March and April timeframe, up against that M80X team that did so well, and against JJ & Co., who made it into Pro League as a part of that. Akron University was one of the teams that made it really far, and they threw up a 7-0 victory against Team Nutorious that we just saw on stream. They're looking very good coming in here to Element 6. So, yeah, and the next one, Moneyball taking on Lord, not Tachanka, just Chaynka in this case. He's the man. He's going to be this team. We're going to bring that one up. So we're still waiting on that game to get moved forward by the admin. So we know which game we're going to cover. We're just waiting to the map bans to get finished.
That's right. So we're going to do it one more time. We're going to get this lobby set up. We're going to get everything ready to go for this last upper bracket round of today. And we'll be bringing you all of Element 6 all weekend and the quals next weekend and potentially Rival Roller Series we got going on and also that seasonal series that has just been interesting. To say the very absolute least that I can. So plenty of Siege coming at you. We've got one for you today, and hopefully we're going to see if that match can get started soon. Yep. So sit back, relax, fill your drinks up to the tippy top. When we come back, the fun don't stop. Ayo.
Let's go.
wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Will you know? Will you touch? Will you feel? Yeah. Will you know? Will you touch? Will you feel? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Will you know? Will you touch? Will you feel? Yeah. Will you know? Will you touch? Will you feel? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. And I'll be running, possessed by a low, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on a full moon. And we're stuck in a la la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, play me like a bass guitar, simmer down and mess me up, tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Drive me around in your red Ford, shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding,
My city's good to tell you the tale. Everyone was left in the veil. My time won't come to an end. Take a look around, it's a war zone. The damage is already done. Take a look around, it's a war zone. The damage is already done. Take a look around and keep your guns high. It's a war zone.
What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. We are here. We did it. We're finally just about ready. Moneyball. Oh, man, this is taking on Lord Chaynka. Chaynka. I can't say it. I can't do it. We're just going to call him Against the Lords.
That's right, the Lord Tachanka. I know one of your favorite things to say, but not one of your favorite operators. We're going to get to see them take on Moneyball. And Moneyball is a team that's been doing great, had some great runs so far. Going to see this. This is the last upper bracket game for tonight in Element 6. So moving on throughout the weekend, we're going to see the rest of the upper bracket play out. The quarterfinals tomorrow start best of 3 games. More of the lower bracket continues to play out behind the scenes right now. I think one more lower bracket round after this, and we will see the conclusion now. Big change from the Element 5 into Element 6. 2 qualified teams from each of the qualifiers. So not a lot of opportunity here from the 97 teams that jumped in to try and qualify here for Element and win the big bucks. So yeah, a lot on the line for the 2 teams to qualify this weekend.
Man, that would be a drastic change. 2 invited. That would make Quals interesting. That is for dang sure. Okay, well, you said it, that we've got this last upper bracket here, and I haven't said it all night. So the battle is told by the battleground, right? The story's told by the battleground. Let's find out where the heck we're going for this last match.
That's right, the map band's just finishing up, and honestly, the teams have been pretty good to us tonight. We have not got to see Skyscraper one time, which honestly feels like a huge W. That map really a struggle in the competitive scene right now. Not a great time for any of the teams to play, and we've also got to spread it around a little bit. We saw Clubhouse, Kafe, and now Consulate. And I think this is a great one. Consulate used to be a map that I wasn't a big fan of, but we have seen some really great Consulate play at really all levels of Siege, and seeing how teams approach this very large map, the possibility for the split site. This one has been a fun one to really gain some popularity in the competitive scene.
Yeah, and it lends itself to some of that stuff that I love as well, right? Where you're seeing the potential for the quick plants, right? You're seeing the potential for the lurker, the roamer, the potential cav plays, right? And bring out the interrogation. Consulate lends itself to that. Dark corners, long hallways, plenty of cheeky little hidey spots to get active on the defense and the attacking side of it. And honestly, this is where that big debate comes into play, right? The Lord Tachanka himself. Do you bring him for 2F or not? My money's on not, but this is definitely that spot of contention. I love Consulate run. I'm completely ready for this one.
Yeah, for me, this is going to be a fun round. And we, talking about the teams that are playing. So Moneyball is obviously had a lot of different lineups, but this particular one comes out as Kiru, BJL, Vex, Meow, and Raid Bullies. And we got to see him on stream one more time in the PC tourney rather than where we normally see him on Roller Sundays. And then the Lord Tachanka lineup is not as much of a known team, but we do get to see Coco. We have seen him as a part of the 774 Bowesville teams that did really well in Element previously, so this could be a team that potentially upsets them, but against, I think, definitely a more seasoned team, my money is on Moneyball.
Yeah, and that's a good place to put your bet, right? A little bit of experience, and like we were talking about, some of these players that play in that like Jinxieverse tournaments are playing against some of the greatest players in the world, right? Spoit taking part in those tourneys. We've seen Ambi be a part of those tourneys, and so you're having to put together in these drafts. You're having to put together communication, coordination, and it all comes with passion, baby, right? That's one of the reasons we love those streams. They're dramatic and can chalk easy. So when we get towards the end of the day, right, this is our 4th match that we're going to be streaming. This is the 4th match that these teams are going to be playing. Fatigue can start to set in. Mental chalk can start to set in. So for best of ones, where even the slightest mistake can cost you your chance to qual, it does feel like it's all on the line here. In best of ones, good teams can be taken out by just a little bit of a mental chalk.
It's one of the things, a big contrast here between Element and the Challenger Series that we saw in March and April was at least it's a double elimination bracket rather than the single elimination bracket that we saw throughout the Challenger Series, where it was all best of one qualifiers. There was 4 qualifiers in a row, lots of opportunity, but always single elimination best of one, so you lose one and you were out. In this case, though, teams have got a second opportunity through the lower bracket. So this game is, I think, just about ready. We said going into Consulate and one more upper bracket game. This is a best of one here to close out the evening, and then tomorrow we start again. I think 6 p.m. We're going to check on it before the end of the game. But going into the best of 3 quarterfinals to start it off before we catch some of those lower bracket games. And again, only 2 teams can qualify, so tons of pressure on them. But you can join for free. If you want to play in Element 6, next weekend is your opportunity. That open qualifier is still open for registration. Get your 5 stack together. The problem is, though, in order to win the money, you're going to have to take down those invited teams. And there's a lot of teams. You look at the list of who we've got and who we don't have. You can take some guesses on who are part of those invited teams before they get announced. You know what? We heard from Packer on the SGC stream that they were putting together an Element team. Exige, where's he at? Yeah, looking for some invited teams to just be a tremendous part of the Element 6 experience. So it's game time, though, my friend. Get ready for Consulate.
Let's send it. Okay, baby, Consulate. What do we love? What do we hate? You can kind of get a little bit of a back and forth on primaries, secondaries here, right? A lot of times it's that 2F start, right? You're doubling up on that area denial because the potential to get in quickly is huge on this map, in through any of the windows, right? And that admin overtake just being absolutely devastating. Last time I did that European voltage cast, we saw a wonderful play by the Chaynka and the smoke that just blocked off all of admin, just not allowing that site over push to take out. So gonna have to get a little bit inventive here as we're starting to get into it. And you can tell by the bans straight away, smoke taken off the board. The smoke ban is absolutely huge. It's gonna force the hand of the Lord himself to come out and play.
That's actually kind of wild the way that that's working out, right? Lord Chaynka, they get to play the Chaynka almost on purpose because we see Moneyball ban out the smoke. But the reason they're banning it, he's certainly a much better op upstairs holding on to that 2F. You and I get to talk about that all the time. So they're going to bring him out. It seems like Siege poetry that he's here.
It does feel a little bit of like that. Doubled up on the area denial. Goyle gonna take a peek at play here as well, taking away some intel with mute on the board, and then a little bit of a pace setter. Fenrir, good to go, and I imagine, if I had to guess, he'd be probably gonna post some of those gadgets up near, yep, and there he goes, near that admin site over, just making it a little bit devilish to try to get in. Can contend that spot on the vending machine area. That is that critical push point. One of the things that Consulate shares with another map is that great dividing line up on the top floor, right? That middle area hallway dividing admin from the site area is a spot of contention. So Fenrir gets there to slow that process down for sure. No way. Hello? A Chaynka spawn peek? Moneyball, you deserve that death if you ain't looking for that one.
Tragic way to start out here for the attacking team. Yeah, that's... there is just some poetry being played out in front of our eyes at this point, and the Lord Chaynka team here taking a very aggressive defensive stance, but Moneyball is ready for it. You may have lost the battle to Chaynka early, but they are absolutely expecting the secret run out, and there's the impact. He goes, yes, Raid wins that battle. They were ready for it.
Man, holding on to it too. They knew it was potentially going to be a tough one to send it out, and they take the Goyo off the board, and that's a huge first pick. Chaynka, no surprises there. Gun too slow gets taken off the board. That's going to be a man advantage into the hands of Moneyball as they're up 4-3 with 1:49 left to go.
Plenty of time left here from the attackers and the defenders to try and slow this thing down. He said that the Chaynka is down, so none of that area denial other than what the Goyo already had in play. So they've still got the Coco still has those Fenrir gadgets still in play, so he's left alive to be able to try and direct the way that this game is flowing. But a little bit of the admin overtake, seeing from this Moneyball team. Got 4 left alive, still a bunch of attacker utility as well. And the Sense,
right.
all his gadgets.
No kidding. So that's going to be an answer back, though, is, oh, man, it's going to be onto the Kiru, onto the triple kill now as we get put into a 2v1 scenario. Wamai, the last alive to try to hold off these last 2 defenders. BJL starting to creep up. Sen's gadget going to go out, and now that's going to put... who's Ace? Who is that, Run? Is that his name? Wall-ing?
It is Wall-ing. Somebody asked whether or not that was Nala that was playing. It's a good question. I'm hoping somebody else in chat knows who Wall-ing is in the game today. So they're going for the plant, though, as it goes down. 35 seconds left.
That's right, and they're holding on to it. Goes to take the swing, but is absolutely dealt with. Attack's going to find that first one, even though we saw that Chaynka spawn peak. They claimed that man advantage early, but Moneyball's going to take the first.
Yeah, even down a man. This is certainly a very good team. We were talking through the bracket early on, one of the potential favorites to make that qualification spot. So Lord Tachanka's up. We said it. David versus Goliath scenario, and they're going to continue to run it. They're going to play 2F again, and they're going to bring out the Chaynka. So very similar lineup from this defensive side. The piece that feels like they're missing, they dropped the Goyo this time in favor of the Legion. So maybe expecting a little bit more of the this Moneyball team good at clearing the defensive utility, so use something that you can sort of change the location throughout that match with the Legion rather than the Goyo. I think a little bit of an adaptation and a good one here from the Lord Tachanka team.
Okay, so yeah, not a bad play. They're gonna run it back up onto the 2F. They think they've got the strat and the change of the ops. Little op swap. We'll see if it's gonna be the case. Do you think they're gonna be looking for the spawn peak this time?
Yes. Yeah. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, don't get fooled again. Yeah, they're going to be looking for the spawn peak this time around. Not going to let it happen. And honestly, good call here from the defensive team not taking that chance, because got a bunch of gunners here on the Moneyball team. And yeah, somebody mentioned in the chat, Walling is Nala, and certainly part of those roller tourneys. And a lot of the guys switching over to the PC side after the tremendous success that Stompin has had.
Yep, all hail the king in his G2 run. That has been an absolute blast to watch. So they're going to get active as they run across the window. A little bit of a bold play there, Run, when there's active shooting going on, but they're going to get out, make sure that they're not isolated inside admin, and now live to tell the tale. We said 5 alive as that first minute is counting down.
1 minute down, moving a little bit slower this time around, but Lord Tachanka team not taking any of the real, not really taking any chances, right? Don't throw bodies at this attacking team. Just starting to slow, use some of the area denial, but big focus here for the Moneyball team as they work the admin oversight. And you have to clear that deployable shield at on the vending, right? You talked about that hallway that sort of splits halfway in between. Look at this. The attackers, BJL running this Brava, and has made quick work of all of these gadgets. Taking care of the Wamai disc. That's going to make it significantly easier to clear that shield out, plus all of that extra intel that they have, and they have gained a ton of space upstairs.
That's right. Flashes start to go out. Coco's going to find Vex off the board. Kiru answers back as the body balance still tips into the hands of Moneyball here. Takes a quick shot on Spiral. Is going to get the down onto Kiru, equalizing onto the number advantage. Now puts us into a 2v3 situation. Is Coco on a triple. Now on pace for the ace and in a position to potentially try to claim these last two. Tachanka Fire starts to spread out, force these attackers into a funneled situation. Still kind of slowing down, though. They put themselves into a good position to get into a plant. I'm not sure if that Tachanka Fire is actually covering the default plant spot.
Nala.
Nala good for 2. Huge. And now it is going to be the aforementioned Chaynka. Let's see if he's a viable operator, chat. 30 seconds left, and he's got a hold, but he's only got 1 fire to do so. So rest assured that the LMG is going to try to get active. Sends a fire down that direction. Not going to stop the plant, though. It's a similar situation. They're pushing up again.
He gets the down.
They are going to get the down onto Raid. Now puts us into a 1v1 post-plant scenario. And I don't know if he knows that he's switching around to the hallway. He's going to get the thirst there and is now looking towards...
No way!
Okay, well, there you go. Chaynka got that one. I guess when smoke is banned, Chaynka might potentially be the one.
Honestly, you expect that kind of gameplay out of a team that based their name around the operator, my friend. I'm not surprised at all, as he was the linchpin here for how well that team was doing. Now, Moneyball, they picked up their first attacking win. Good adaptation from the Chaynka team. So honestly, back and forth battle. This is so far a little bit better than what we had seen coming in. As we get further into the bracket, the team's a little bit more seasoned, a little bit more practice, and certainly more warmed up. So this one should be a much closer battle.
Okay, so now down to the basement. Looking to see what they're going to bring to the
Defenders,
table
protect your
here.
bombs from being
Not going to
defused by
bring out that
attackers.
Chaynka downstairs. Instead, going to opt for a little bit of a switch up, right? We're going to double up on the breach now. We didn't even talk about the bans. It's outside of the smoke
Attackers
ban, right?
have
That
located
smoke
a
ban
bomb.
absolutely threw me off, which is a good call, right? That smoke ban is such a huge call, especially when trying to lock into the 2F location. But Azami also off the board, and that's a no-brainer call, right? Obviously, the Azami gets taken down. But what that does do, that leaves the breach denial on the board, and they're going to double up on it here, bringing both the Cade and the Bandit. Means they're going to be able to hold on to the main breach with some Bandit trick. Means the hatch is going to potentially, 1 or 2 of them can remain closed, and they can also put some stop and some denial towards that back end, where a lot of teams like to try to catch off guard coming down those back stairs.
This is a great set of attacker switches, though. I mean, you go in and Kira bringing out the Mav to try and deal with that main wall, even though it's electrified, and plus the hatches. That's a great play on his part. And you take a look at what they've got C4-wise, 3 on this defense. So they're going to have to approach the wall very cautiously, but the Mav means that they can do it easily, quickly, and going to be able to open it up and clear the Bandit batteries out. And look at this. I don't think this defense realizes that they have got intel on them active. And the other thing is, the Moneyball team, very good at the vertical play. This site can certainly be held similarly to the way we see Nighthaven played out. A great vertical attack can make quick work of those holds downstairs in the basement, even when you've got breach and all on the main wall. So that's going to be something that this Lord Chaynka team is going to need to watch.
Interesting play here. They brought out the Mav to stop that trick, and you got to do something spicy when they're doubling up on the breach now. So Selma charges are going to be able to... Wait, did he stick that? Was he able to stick that?
Yeah, he was
Well
able...
done. Cade
That was
from a distance. Crazy.
That was wild. The fact that they're able to use the ace charge to open that up, the Mav to hold it, and you heard that you heard the DMR ring out. Nobody goes down, so they do have a sight line open, but I don't think they have. Yeah, the hole's not big enough in the main breach to be able to get through. And Bandit still holding that spot. My guess is this time the drone is gone. He had to have seen it at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. So now a bit of a redirect here by the attack, as they've got to find another way to try to get into this fortress that is the basement hold. All 5 alive, and we're just under 70 seconds left to get it done.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see a little bit more vertical attack here from the Moneyball team, but look at this. Man, Kiro gets taken down by the defensive team, going out, searching, trying to find, and speaking of searching, completely unaware that they had Cade playing back in the corner on the server hallway. Man, what a play. It's totally shut down this attack right now and puts them seriously on the back foot.
Okay, 35 seconds. Now the pressure starting to mount for this attack team, especially being down in the numbers advantage. They're going to take a quick shot towards Pulse, but not going to quite reward them just yet. And as the Goya canisters go off, it starts to feel like a desperate move here for the attack team. Raid able to take one off the board as he answers back, but Man, it almost feels like a too little, too late scenario. Has to push in through the fire, now into a damage situation. Prone, Pone, looking for that potential own, but the diffuser is cold. A run, I'm thinking we're gonna be able to call this round. Yep, 1v4. It's gonna be Nala left alive, and she's gonna try to take the battle off of Red, but not gonna get it done. Twitch can't do it just yet. That's gonna be 2 to the defense.
Okay, good adaptation upstairs on the second floor. Had an answer for everything Moneyball was bringing to the table. They played that one really well. And then on the basement side, shut down the attackers. And honestly, a big piece of that happened early on. It seemed like Moneyball had a strategy to get that main wall open. Got very close, but losing the ace charge halfway through and not able to really gain the control that they were looking for seemed to upset the way that they were playing the attack. They didn't really redirect into a vertical take to make sure they could get that wall open. Defaulted back to a server side, and Lord Tachanka defense read into that really well, completely shut it down. So they pick up 2 in a row. Now we see the next set of bans come out, and the defense wants to make sure that Ace is not going to get involved in the battle, and Moneyball taking the mirror off to make that just a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, interesting that we still didn't see a breach denial operator taken off, and it's not a bad call. Mira's a goat, of course.
Attackers
You're
need
bringing
to
along a
locate and
C4, you're
defuse
bringing
bombs.
along a Vector, you're bringing along that long-range damage that just makes it difficult to get towards. And on the other side of it, Ace off the board as well, meaning that they're gonna have limited options to get it opened up. Now, here's the deal though, right? In the round rotate, we didn't have to see the terse site just yet because Moneyball was able to take that first win up onto the second floor, which means they're gonna do it now instead. And I love that. Keep the routine going.
From an intel perspective, you take a look at Lord Tachanka bringing out the Scopos and the Valkyrie this time. So we talk about Consulate being a very big map, lots of opportunity, lots of space you need to have covered, and that extra intel, I think, is certainly going to serve them well. And the Frost is an interesting one. I feel like we see her very situationally, but if you're playing a team that looks to be very aggressive from an attacking perspective, running some of those trap ops occasionally could be that little bit of a boost that you need, and she brings along the deployable shield to go along with it, and frost traps combined with deployables can definitely catch aggressive teams off guard.
Yeah, and I love the extension here, right? Or at least that lurk game down in the basement. Valkyrie going to try to get active with a C4, and then 2 people up on the top, 2 people down on the... Or no, excuse me, 1 person holding into sight, 3 up top. So really a huge extension up onto this second floor area. Vertical being just absolutely necessary. Let's see how Moneyball is going to come back to this.
Well, they're expecting it. They know they've got the ceiling open. They're watching for it, trying to get a reverse vertical kill at this point, and Nala pulls it off, and BJL answers with a quick double as well. That is a huge boost for Moneyball here at the start of round 4.
Yeah, now it's going to put Valkyrie have to be on pace for the ace, and hasn't even got a kill started. Now starts to go from the backside, is able to come up with 1, but a swing from Kira is going to take him down off the board, and that's going to tie us up. Man, lobby locked.
Back and forth battle, no 7-2 likely victory at this point. Both teams playing a little bit of an exciting siege, and that's exactly what we wanted to see to potentially close out the evening here. In Element 6, it's open qualifier number 1 at 97 teams to start out, and we're getting down to the final few. Quarterfinals, best of 3s are starting off tomorrow. If you're just joining us, welcome in, everyone. Getting to see Moneyball take on Lord Tachanka, and man, 2-2, the most exciting game we've had of the evening so far.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
That's a crazy statement here for our 4th match of the game, that it's this close. Now, here's the one thing playing out in Moneyball's favor, right? This is obviously a defensive-sided map. There's no question about that, right? So the fact that Moneyball has already secured 2, that means they hit their quota. Anything outside of this is going to be icing on the cake, or as you like to say it, gravy on potatoes. It's going to be put the pressure onto the defense. They've almost, I'm not going to say that it's you have to claim the next 2 rounds, but it will be vital, especially when you get yourself onto the attacking side of it. And you need to have that coordination, you got to have that communication, and you know that they're having that on the side of Moneyball. They've played a ton of tournaments together.
Yeah, this is it's classic. We're seeing Kiru play this one out, BJL, and then said Nala and Raid, the roller series coming in. So they've got this defense set upstairs, very much expecting the admin overtake. A lot of defensive utility upstairs. The combination of the Mute Jammers and with Vex running the Flores, I think that is a great counter to the way that they've got this thing set up. They're going to try and clear out that the deployable shield, but the Mute Jammer's just doing a hell of a good job denying both Flores and the Hibana.
Huge play, right? Absolutely huge. Not able to get in just yet. Means they're going to have to go down below and potentially... Well, I mean, Grim does, of course, have those impact EMPs. He could for sure get up and at least open up that main wall. Or we're headed down below to try to get the job done as well. So, the first minute's off the board, and you're going to see the attack get a little bit more active with the drones and try to suss out where some of these defensive players are. The admin over, going to be a real play here as they start to get active.
Really feels like the attacking team needs to move a little bit quicker though, right? We're sitting at a minute 40, getting close to this halfway point. They're still working the intel side of it, playing some very strategic siege, making sure they clear out everything. Now, this is a part I love. I love seeing the glass out. Very dangerous, but they're not able to really gain any control so far on this main hallway. They have got to get that thing open, but Crooked comes out. Unbelievable double, holding on to the top of the spiral stairs. Damn, what a shot.
Man, I always question why you're bringing the TSG outside of the Vector, but that's exactly why. A quick double is going to take that main advantage. Huge.
Yo.
EJL! Oh, well. No words for that one. Raid Bullies get C4'd off the board, and the pattern repeating itself. It's all going to be onto the shoulders of Nala now. Going to find one. So they got to be on pace for the ace here to bring this one back. First, got to let those Goyle fires burn out.
The Mute Jammers really being the difference here. That was the important part of this this defensive setup. It completely shut down all of the extra intel that the team had brought. The drones using the Flores to try and clear out utility. The Mute Jammers stopped that. Stopped the Hibana pellets. Prevented BGL from knowing that you had a defensive player holding on the default plant. They just walked into that intel trap, and the defense picks up another win. So that's 2 in a row upstairs for them. They already won downstairs in the basement, so now it's adaptation time here for Moneyball. They lost the basement back on round 3. Can they pick it up on the final round here in the first half?
Defenders, protect
Yeah, I'm going to need to see a little bit more attention to the vertical to play out on this one, especially because they're bringing so much of that breach denial to the board, because it's not just Bandit. It's not just Bandit and Cade. Run this time, we're bringing Bandit, Cade, and Mute. It's deny, deny, deny. Deny the wall, deny the hatches, deny the intel, bring out the Goyo, deny your entry, and bring out the Fenrir and deny your sight. So this is a huge defensive setup. Definitely going to be leaning into that bunker down turtle strat scenario. And they are bringing some of that vertical play on the other side of it. Nala bringing out the ram, and that's going to be a very important part of this.
All right, we get into the end action phase here. Again, I love the fact that they're running the Mute. Very, very successful against this team, and this double breach denial worked really well against Moneyball previously. So what are they going to change up? Rather than bringing the ace this time, BGL running the thermite, and they're going to run the Deimos. And we talked a lot about Deimos during that Team Notorious game. Great for playing the vertical, an important part of Consulate here. So that's the change-up. Are we going to see Moneyball push that advantage just a little bit more, or are they planning on clearing all of this utility? Raid's the only one running those, running the EMPs, so they're going to have to make sure that they use those very judiciously.
Yeah, absolutely. So starting to get active. Ram pushing into that vertical play here, and a couple of drones to try to suss them out. Vertical works both ways, though, my friend. So the bottom up, trying to put some pressure on anybody coming in to do that as well.
All right, my friend, that first minute gameplay ticks down. Need a little bit of entry over there on the secret side, and there, Jones coming in, trying to identify where is the rest of this utility. That mute jammer placed a little bit further back, so now they know they've got one playing right at the bottom of the spiral stairs. But who do they have upstairs? Who do they need to watch out for? Nobody, because all the defense is rotated back down to the basement. They have given away Moneyball completely here to the top side of the map. So the question is, can they use that to their advantage? SK finds the first one, and it's Kiru to go down.
Man, that's a huge first pick, right? The frag leader of the attack side, and that's your intel. That's finding the bandits, the mutes, the Cades, and the Fenrir's going to be absolutely deleted now. So power position here on yellow is the shotgun trying to get active. Instead, going to get taken down. Mute goes, and now the body balance gets equalized in a 4-4. Just over 60 seconds left in the game. All of the Ram boogie drones are out, which means it's opened up. Means they can really start to put some pressure onto this defense.
Final 49 seconds left. 8 players still left and alive in the lobby, so it is about to get crazy, my friend. We're going to see a ton of kills happening. It's going to be Raid picking up the first one here to start the onslaught, but he's still upstairs, and that hatch is locked down with the Cade.
Yeah, and not just that, yellow locked down with the Fenrir gadget as well, and it goes off, but they're able to take him off. 28 seconds now as it starts to count down. Man advantage into the hands of Moneyball, but time starts to run short. This could play out into the defensive hands, especially if Crooked is not sought out. He sits on the spiral stairs, so the potential for the lurk is huge. Coco gonna find one. Vex goes down. Coco good for 2 now. A 1v3. This is an important round. They're gonna take Goyo down, but it's a too little, too late scenario. 3 seconds left. They don't have to peek it. Diffuser's cold. Fenrir gadget goes off. We're going to find ourselves on a standard split, and this was a big round for the defense.
And we have seen Raid clutch up these rounds time after time. I thought he had a tremendous opportunity there, but being stuck upstairs with the hatch still locked down, not having the EMPs, and then having to fight his way down spiral. Yeah, he picked up one, but it was a tough situation, and Lord Chaynka played that defense just a little bit better. So Moneyball picked up 2. They won that second floor to start with, and then that first floor, so picked up the tertiary as well. Great play from this team. Now, Lord Chaynka is going to have to watch out. They move on to the attacking side. Can they do? I'll get rid of the Grim, and then on the defensive side, the Malusi. So looking forward to try and move a little bit faster, I think, speaks volumes of what the Lord Chaynka team wants to pull off.
I like that we're seeing a different set of bans here as well, right? It just, it's not your standard breach denial and shield operators taken off the board. In fact, neither one of those going to be a factor on this one. This first set of bans, we're going to see the Ying and the Grim taken off, which means intel and that agent of chaos that those Candelas ultimately are. And then on the defensive side, Malusi and Mira taken down, which means breach now going to be up. Hard breach going to be up. Shields a potential to be used here. Neither one of them looking at that just yet.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
All right, a little bit of pressure here again on Moneyball. If you're just joining us, it's best of ones, double elimination bracket. Right now, we're still on the upper side, so if you lose, you're not out. So you have the opportunity to push forward and make your lower bracket run, but nobody wants to start there. So Moneyball looking to try and even this thing up as they start off on defense. One of the things we didn't see on, at least on the start of it, because the Azami was banned out, we didn't get to see that and the smoke, and that's exactly where Moneyball is going to start on the defense. Both of those ops on the board. They're not going to be able to play the Malusi and the Mira, but I think honestly, feels like a bit of a miss. That smoke Azami combo is deadly. It's better that Moneyball's got them available.
Yeah, absolutely. The Kiba barrier is going to give themselves a little bit of an extension, blocking off some of those windows, so not put yourself in so much of a dangerous spot when you're trying to defend that admin overtake. On the side of the attack, they brought along the Striker, this self-contained breaching unit, and he did bring along both those can openers and some impact EMPs. Now it's going to be Roteros getting in place and trying to make sure that they can get up those admin stairs.
Yeah, and Kira bringing along the mute, such a great op here for running this, trying to intel deny here on Consulate upstairs, because you have to get all of that utility mostly up and down those stairs, so plenty of opportunity there to try and shut that off. Now, Coco takes down Kiru just as we're talking about it, but all of his passive util down at this point. Zami is watching, trying to hold off on the admin overside, which is certainly where most of the Lord Tachanka players are setting up for this attack.
I'll give them a call.
Here's off the board, main advantage into the hands of the attacking team, which feels like a pretty good start, but it's just the first minute and a quarter gone. Means, ooh! Nala gonna take SK off the board and equalize on that body balance. And that's a little bit of a tough one. Still hold up. We've got that static warfare as Azami is really setting up a trench warfare inside of that office area. And still, they've got that hold solidified, and time run now is really starting to tick down.
Yeah, they haven't run out of time at this point, but the fact that they really haven't cleared admin at all, that you still have got a defensive utility players over on that side, you haven't made the cross, you still have wall denial down. Yeah, this is moving very slow for the attacking team. They certainly need to pick up the speed, and when you start to do that, you make mistakes as they push over. Speaking of making noise upstairs, and Nala just punishes them for it.
Yep, absolutely. Bits and pieces scattered now as the C4 rings out. Body balance yet again tipped back into the hands of Moneyball. 38 seconds as they're trying to make the push from admin over, but they can't quite get past the great invisible wall that is the hallway. They're still just hold up. Finally made themselves in, but they're still going to be sussed out as the BP's there. Flora's Rotero drone going to go try to get on top of that, and that's going to be an answer back. BJL goes down. Now we find ourselves in a 3-3. 16 as it counts down onto Spiral, but dealt with. Nala on the triple kill. Doesn't get Vex finds one, and Nala break out the barbecue sauce for that 4-piece. Nala is going crazy right now.
That's exactly what this team needed. A little bit of a boost as they started their defensive comeback. Lord Tachanka, it seemed like they had a good opening gambit, but definitely stalled out in the mid-round, really unable to gain a lot of space, push the Moneyball players out, and then as you got down to that final standoff, Moneyball looked stoic, holding those power positions, holding those angles, waiting for the attackers to make the move, and then punishing them for it. BJL went down to 1, but then after that, it was just a cascade as the Tachanka players fell. Moneyball 3-4, so still behind in the round count, but good defensive win here to start their half off.
And they're going to take it down to the basement because obviously the power secondary site. Smoke on the board, bringing along a little bit of breach denial. Nala brings out the bandit, and they're going to try to do some tricking here potentially as the tuber out is also being utilized here. Favorite of the gun, and that gadget is just devastating when setting the pace here. In fact, that's really what this defense is lined up for. This bunker down, potentially a little bit of a lurk to potentially be had. As you can see, Azami's upstairs getting patches already. But this is really a defense built for the Turtle.
That'll be a big question. Are they going to have any sort of a roam game upstairs, an extension presence outside of the basement over on the server side? Or, you said it, just completely bunker back down. Feels a little bit off compared to what we would have normally expect out of this team that played so aggressively on attack to bunker completely back down on defense. But that's basically where they at. Yeah, you've got Raid playing on Spiral, but that's very much not an extension play. So they're going to give Lord Tachanka tons of room to work with. The question is, how quickly do they clear the upper floors? How quickly do they realize they're completely bunkered back down before they waste too much time?
Now, at least they've got you could just send your drones in, right? You don't have to necessarily send some bodies up there to deal with it, especially because Goyle rotating back downstairs. It's a full bunker down strat, which means that top floor going to be absolutely free.
All right, working on clearing this thing out, using the shield, using the glass again. Interesting, we got to see glass on both sides of the map. Man, there was a time, and for a really long time, that glass was never played in competitive Siege. It certainly made a bit of a comeback, but boy, somebody in the chat said, where was the nades to clear out bottom yellow? A little bit prophetic at this point. I think it was a caster that said that. Clearing out all of this defensive utility this time, bringing along the nades like they needed to.
Yep, and that's going to be one of the drones dealt with, is hold up into the corner. Tuberal making sure that he's unsussed out. He's going to try to do some of that long-range distance, but he is going to get sussed out. SK going to take Kira off the board. BJ going to answer back as Coco goes down. But now it's the smokes onto the main breach. They've got it opened up. Glass going to start putting pressure on with his gadget instead. Blackbeard going to try to swing in, but Vex is going to take him off the board. Main advantage back into the hands of Moneyball now as the last 60 seconds starts to count down. The pressure starting to become too much. Defense is going to find a loss there as BJL gets taken off the board, but nobody willing to peek the glass on the main breach just yet. And why would you? Your spearhead is gone. Your point man done data as the Blackbeard's been dealt with. So now they're going to get themselves over to yellow, both Vex and Nala. And that's going to be the last two alive as they start to make the rotate up. They're going to try to retake top floor. Put themselves in a potential retake scenario down below. Nala's going to take SK off the board. Both into a low health scenario now run as they find themselves 2-2 with 25 seconds left. Dealt with the vertical. Vex is going to find one. Now it's all going to be on to Ram as they make the push in, but nobody again going to be trying to peek it. The diffuser's cold outside of sight, takes a quick swing in.
No way he wins that.
Old-fashioned 1v1. Crooked takes Nala off the board and has to find a safe spot to get a plant down, but he goes for the default. When everything's opened up, he goes for the default. No! Done, dusted to retake up top, successful. That's going to be a defense to find it and tie us up on the score line.
Damn, what a little bit of a crazy round there at the end. And to say that we finally see Moneyball play the vertical better was exactly what they needed. Yeah, Vax just had an incredible round. That was a really good one from him and helped certainly put Moneyball there. 4-4. Nala picked up a 4K back on round 7. That round belonged to Vex with a couple great plays. And interestingly enough, I think we ended up with one player on each team at 6-7.
Well, there you go, Chad. You're welcome. Now you got to see it. 6-7 across the board. Oh man, the roam was silent, but the kills were deafening, my friend. Takes us down to the Tersh site now. The test on the Tersh. A good chance here for the attacking team to find themselves a win and potentially get back up at the scoreline. And it's a switch up of ops again. And I like this, right? We haven't seen the Capcan all freaking night. All 4 matches haven't seen the Capcan played. And I love it being brought out late, right? Because now you're not looking. Now you're not expecting it to be there, which means but the potential to get caught off guard, very present. It's a clear and present danger for sure. And it only takes one. It only takes one going off before you're checking every single door and every single window. And what does that do? It slows you down for the pulse to suss you out and take you out.
The answer back, though, from the attacking team. Thurton is going to run the Brava to try and steal some of this utility. He's got to stay alive long enough, though. So SK finds that opening pick early, taking down Kiru. Again, all of that defensive utility in play, though, passively. So the problem is you lose the DMR. And look at this, stealing the Capcans, just as we talked about it. That was the attacking answer. Interestingly, he didn't steal both of them. I wonder if he was hoping to catch one of the attackers off guard by not having them both stolen, or going to try and get that Kludge drone in to try and steal the other half of it. Can't remember if he caught 2 or 3 of the gadgets already.
I don't know, man. That seems like some wild Brava tech. Try to be a little deceptive, take one so you can't quite see it, and then you pay the price. At the minimum, you lose some life. At the maximum, it's a down or a potential swing from a homie. I'm thinking, and I don't know if it was for sure or not, but I'm gonna call it Brava tech. I'm gonna say it was on purpose.
I do love the fact that they brought out the Capcan, and you said we hadn't seen Capcan play the entire night. Kind of wild that he's one of the best defensive operators and really just hadn't seen it. But again, on the comp side, they're always looking for those, certainly much more than your average ranked warrior, it seems. So maybe a little less often you're catching them off guard, but Lord Tachanka starts to get a little bit aggressive, pushes in. Yeah, they can certainly lose those battles. But right now, up in the man count, holding on to a 3-4 lead as this final minute ticks down. And there's still a ton of attacker utility on the board, at least the secondaries. Still some claymores, plenty of breach charges, and some flashes for this final execute.
Yep, trying to get upstairs to take out this roamer as Nala, sitting 11 and 5, is going to be sussed out, makes the drop down to the hatch. Now is a viable option back in sight, which means that vertical going to become huge here. A little bit of siege timing. Ram isn't going to see sitting behind the piano. They're going to make the push down yellow instead. Oh, man, was that an environmental ingredient?
I think it
play.
was.
Great Bullies takes Crooked off the board. SK to respond again. Nala goes down, and that means it's going to be Vex alone in a 1v3 with 20 seconds left. They've got the diffuser in hand. This kill could be huge. He finds one, but is immediately traded back. Attackers are going to find the round, and they do it on the Tersh.
All right, if you had to pick the best opportunity there for him to do it, on the tertiary side. So the second floor and the basement is locked down, strongholds there for the defense. Vex was hiding in the corner, and that seemed to be a strategy that was working really well for him on that back on round 7. And really at the end of 8 as well, just unable to make the same magic happen on that first floor piano site. So that does allow the defense to rotate back upstairs. You're going to see the second floor site one more time. And the new band's coming out this time, so the attacker's going to lose the ace, and Moneyball losing the Azami. And that is a great pick there from the Tachanka team. They needed to ban the Azami. There was too many places that they were getting stopped by the Kibas, and they were getting outplayed across the board.
Yeah, she's still in such a good position to be like the #1 defender, right? If she's available, she's brought always, you know, and there's a couple of operators that could be said about that, but none as strong as Azami. So good pick to take it off the board. And on the other side of it, they're going to take down the ace as well, which means you got to get a little bit closer with that hard breach to get the job done. Either can openers, the thermite, or of course you can always do the hatch queen for sure. So what do we do?
What do we do?
We rehost. Man, we made such a good run of it so far, but that's the deal, right? If you're having live siege, the potential you're gonna have live siege issues. So I have to do a quick rehost, dang it.
Yeah, and a great play so far. I think overall, we talk about this, the Moneyball team was coming in certainly the favorites, and this has been a bit of a struggle on the Lord Tachanka side. They've shown some moments of brilliance, though, some great plays, some places that they've taken advantage of it, so they're not being outplayed consistently or constantly. They are in it. We talked about it early. The closest game we've seen so far, one of the best. So this has been a great game to potentially end our Element 6 Day 1 run on.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so you know the deal and you know the drill. We're going to sit back and relax because when we come back, it's going to be the stunning conclusion of the last upper bracket match. Ayo.
Let's go.
All right, what's up and welcome back. Rehost done data. And you know what? It lived up to the theme of the night. Quick. It's been speed, right? And even though this one is a back-to-back kind of banger, the rehost was quick. I mean, we're still moving with some speed. It's 5-4. We're one away from a match point scenario run.
I can't believe it has come down to this, but honestly, like we said all night, this has been one of the best games. The back and forth between them, Lord Tachanka versus Moneyball. Bunch of big names on that Moneyball team trying to find their way through this Element 6 open qualifier. So it's open qualifier number 1. Open qualifier number 2 taking place next weekend, so there's still an opportunity for everybody that was looking to make their name here on the Element Series. The big change-up, though, on the Moneyball defense side, Kiru gonna run the Tachanka this time. And yeah, Lord Chaynka calling it out on the other side. Hell yeah.
doubled up on the area denial run. They're going to bring along the smoke and the Chaynka. And this is what we were talking about being such an effective strat when we watched it on the Voltage League R6 NEU channel just the other day, where they were just able to deny the whole hallway there, right? Smoke canisters coming from that split area and spiral to lock off the left side, and Chaynka fire spreading through that admin default plant side was a huge first bit of play here. Man, sheesh. Vex in a good night's sleep tight situation is going to be taken off the board very early. Attack teams finding themselves in a good position to potentially get themselves a match point scenario. Huge play. Gonna try some bandit tricking though, and it's gonna work. Nala's gonna be good for it.
Yeah, that right there, huge play from the striker's side. The self-breaching machine, the problem is that it is difficult to try and pull off the self-breach when you've got a bandit ready there waiting to trick. No pressure from down below. He's freely able to operate in the closet and completely shut down the striker breach. So it's just a little bit too slow trying to use the impact EMP plus a can opener.
Ratero compromised.
All right, gonna start getting some of those Rotero drones in, get rid of some of that extension util. Specifically, we're looking towards that, I believe the deployable. We brought a deployable, right? Yeah, that deployable towards vending, which can be that huge contest point. Nala gonna get taken off the board as the double kill rings out. Man advantage in a big way now into the hands of the attackers, as they've taken some critical space here in admin, forcing some of these players back farther and farther.
Yeah, right now looking very good for the attack. You got a minute 15 left, all 5 left alive. Got still some defensive utility. Chaynka still has got 20 of those of his Chaynka launcher canisters left, so there is a ton of fire that can completely lock off this whole area. Whether or not it's going to be enough, he needs to keep himself alive though, and then a triple kill, taking it down in a 5v2. The C4 is going to come out, but man, Heroes is on fire.
On pace for the ace, but Coco's gonna deny it. They're gonna have a beautiful round to put themselves onto a match point scenario. Chaynka just not quite able to get the job done. Now we've got to see Raid and company be perfect for 2 rounds, or they're gonna have to fight it out in the lower bracket.
Yeah, that's right. Lower bracket run. I mean, losing one is not one and done here in this double elimination bracket, and appreciate Ice Cold coming back in and fighting out your lower bracket run. Can't wait to see how that turns out. But you said it, Lord Chaynka 1 round away from moving on to the quarterfinals. The loser going down to that lower bracket game. So quarterfinals going to take place tomorrow. Best of 3 in the upper bracket. Again, only 2 teams qualified, so there is not a lot of space here in qualifier 1. So, man, game day. Any given Friday, Saturday, or Sunday in this case, you can pick up a win.
Oh, so what are we going to see on the defensive side? How are they going to bring it back? How are going to stop this aggressive attack? Well, they are going to really lean into the slowdown, right? Vex is going to bring out the Clash. We're doubling down on the area denial with Kira bringing out the Goyo, BJL sticking the smoke play, and then denying your intel, denying your walls. This is a good setup. Potential for some C4 action is hot and heavy, and as you can see also, Nala already down to the bottom area. Maybe a potential for the run out here.
I'd love to see that level of aggression. It's one of the things that Moneyball was doing well, and actually, to be honest, that Chaynka was doing just a little bit better, playing those aggressive plays and taking advantage of it and shutting down the Moneyball team on attack. So love to see them answer back. It's one of the things that we saw as part of a lot of these roller tourneys was very aggressive play, and they feel like they're sort of taking a little bit more strategic view of the game. And, you know, in a best of 1, the Chaynka right now is just sort of taking advantage of that.
Yeah, heavily taking advantage of that. First minute is gone, and they're going to see Raid is going to take SK off the board, and that's a huge first pick. As you're getting rid of the intel that's going to try and suss out some of those jammers, some of those default cans and stuff. So not a huge loss outside of being the body balance not tipped in your favor now. But they definitely know the pressure is on admin.
To me, Clash, again, the important point, they have got to hold on and take care of this Clash if they want to have any chance of moving in. So the danger, though, is Vex and the Clash moving into a dangerous position. You can't throw bodies at this attacking team. He was able to find one, Coco, to answer back, though, and that's the danger. Keep those players back, hold on to the power positions, play back behind the Clash, shut down this attacking team. You are on match point. Chaynka 1 round away from moving on to the quarterfinals and sending Moneyball to the lower bracket. Minute 15 left. Time is ticking away, my friend.
That's right, and Rotero starts to ring out as they're forcing these defenders off that critical position. Vertical now starting to be played out, and it hurt, right? They did some damage on that one, as they still maintain that body balance and just can't get a hold on the player that's downstairs, right? Knowledge just being an absolute menace as they try to make their push forward. Clash now rotating around to still put some pressure onto this admin side over, but Nala's going to take Coco down. Good for 2. Nala finds one now into a 4v1, into a
there it is.
None. BGL with a shotgun to take him down.
Much better round defensively there from the Moneyball team, and when your back was against the wall, they showed up. Lord Chaynka, though, still on match point, 1 round away from setting themselves into that quarterfinal best of 3, but Moneyball's only got to be perfect for 1, and honestly, they can pull it off. It is defense on Consulate, and they're going to the basement. This is a round we saw them win back on round 8. So they answered back when Chaynka won upstairs, so that is a good adaptation from this team. Previously had this one on lockdown, and it feels like it's been a long time since round 8, so I think Chaynka's not going to have sort of that immediate knowledge. They're not going right back to this site.
I like who they're bringing for it too, right? They're kind of switching up the strat, getting down into the basement. They're going to double up on the intel this time. I think it's a W bringing out the Echo and the Maestro. That feels like a good play. 1 away from tying this up. It's going to be a focus on the vertical. Crooked bringing out the Ram. SK bringing out the Fuse. Try to put those players into some disadvantageous situations.
All right, as it's shaking out, change up there, right? A ton of extra intel here on this defensive side. The combination of the Echo and the Maestro, like you were mentioning. I like this strategy here. Not only does that give a ton of intel, they're the intel ops that can deny the plant. They are making sure that if Lord Chaynka wants to play this aggressive style, they're not going to be able to do it easily. They are not going to be able to try and do a quick execute. They're going to have to clear all this utility, and it feels like, honestly, a little bit of a miss that we don't see either a Twitch or a Brava on board with all of this electronic utility. They don't even have an IQ to be able to identify all of the exact locations. Yeah, they brought along the Fuse, which I freaking love that pick. You know, as long as he's in a position to be able to use those, he can clear out some of that utility. But if Fuse goes down early or they're never able to really gain first floor control, that's going to be a wasted pick.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a hero or zero play here by the attack team. But look at that. Yeah, if he can get into place, not only is he getting into place, but he's going to start sending them out, opening up the hatch, putting the pressure onto this defense, and it's working, right? You can see that movement starting to happen as now they've gained complete first floor control. Everybody bunkered back down at this point.
All right, we said that's what I was worried about is that if Fuse was not able to take those, that space, that it was going to be a hindrance, but they gave him complete first floor control. He's able to use his gadgets, clear it out. Now they've destroyed tons of this defensive utility. They've cleared out that space, used the thermite to open the main breach, and right now Lord Chaynka is getting everything they wanted out of this round.
All right, now we're going to start taking a look at yellow as everybody is distracted by the fuse charges that just went off. He almost had himself a bit of a play there on Clash on Pillar, but just got out of the way there. Looking towards some of that vertical as the pings start ringing out. Yeah, they know he's there, looking to try to catch him. He sees him, but it's the bars. They're too difficult to get through at that angle. He is not going to win that gunfight. They're going to go ahead and live to see it. Now pushing in onto the main breach, going to try to deal with that Clash, but they didn't put the shield down, so it's not going to be able to to be taken off just yet. We're still 5 alive with 44 seconds left. And BJ.
Oh, that was huge.
Kill onto Coco. That was a huge play. And now with the Maestro cams and the Echo still in place, it's going to be a tough one for the defense. They're going to answer back as Kiro gets taken off the board, so he's going to be relegated to his own cams. This time he can't shoot him back. So they're trying to make that push from that yellow stair area. Hatch is cleared. 2 per out canister goes out. It's going to start slowing them down. They can't get into the breach still, and they are still bringing intel. Still have the clash.
No way!
Going to get dealt with, though. Vex gets taken off the board. Nala goes down. Man advantage now into the hands of the attacking team. 7 seconds left. The plan is going down. Huge Echo play to stop the play.
Echo!
And they're not going to be able to do it.
No,
Huge
what?
Game. Moneyball gets taken off, and they're going to, and Lord T'Chaka is going to stay in that upper bracket. Sheesh.
What a shocking conclusion there to the end of that round. I thought Raid and the Echo was perfectly placed to shut down the plant at the last couple seconds, but wow, Lord T'Chaka wins in a 7-5 victory over top of Moneyball, and holy cow, what a close way to end that match. I thought for sure Moneyball had that one.
Yeah, man, if that Echo drone, that Yokai drone takes a left instead, or takes a right instead of a left, that thing stays alive and the plant is denied. They double push onto the clash, get the kill out. The fuse takes out a ton of utility. There were no Maestro cams to be used. Maestro goes down early instead. I mean, it just all fell apart. It just all fell apart for Moneyball.
Oh, wow. What a wild end to that round. Luckily for Moneyball, I know we got a lot of fans of them in the chat. They are not out of it. It is double elimination. They go down to the loser's bracket to play another game. But, I mean, Lord T'Chaka, congrats, guys. You move on to the quarterfinals. So most of the quarterfinal games now for tomorrow are set. I think we've got at least maybe 1 or 2 streamers joining us tomorrow to be able to cover some of these games, but we will absolutely be back tomorrow to cover those quarterfinal games, and I think potentially one of the lowers as well, as we look to see who are going to be the 2 teams that qualify here in the open qualifier number 1 for Element 6. And man, what a great day. 4 best of ones. Really, everything moved along very slowly, and we got to watch the NAL during the breaks. Appreciate everybody that rated in as well. Fett, Ice Cold, guys, legends at the game. We appreciate you being here with us.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Mint, also for that raid as well. Man, it's just been a great day for Siege, right? NAL was fun. You got to watch Standby win themselves some Chipotle from Forest. Envy almost
what a great storyline.
Knocks DZ out of the playoffs. I mean, it was just incredibly good day for NAL Siege for sure. Well, if you like us, if you love us, why don't you go ahead and add us? I'm at glitter_whiskey. He's at racing ENGR, and together we are the Siege Double Shot. Hit us up on Twitter if you want us to try to cast your games, either for this qual or for the next one. We're trying to get in as many as we can, so let us know who your favorites are. If you want to play, we've got Copper to Champ and a little bit of comp in the Discord. It's discord.gg/doubleshot, and very soon, I know I have been saying this and saying this and saying this, but the Siege Double Shot merch is just so close to being done. The no days offline, the grind time, eat, sleep, Siege is almost upon us. And when it is, we'll be announcing during stream. We're going to do a giveaway for one of our merch products as well. So you could be the first owner of the SDS, the Siege Double Shot merch. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the follows, the subs, the raids, the everything. It's just been a blast to bring you this round of Siege, and we look forward to doing some more E6 in your direction. But Whiskey, alas, we have come to the dreaded part of the evening where we must bid you all adieu. We're going to be raiding out to one of our favorite streamers, one of our favorite players, a wildcard queen, Cassiopeia, who has been streaming some of the Rally Point series, which has been a blast to watch. So make sure that you stay around and hang out and give her a follow and tell them that the Siege Double Shot sent you. But like I said, we've come to the dreaded part of the evening where we must bid you adieu. So as the lights start to dim and the jukebox starts to sing closing time, as always, my friends, you don't have to go home.
But you can't stay here.
Ayo.
Let's go.